Okay, I think we should be good. Hold up, I need to fix some stuff here. I need to adjust the settings. Where's the audio? Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, hold on. It's BlueStacks. There we go. Alright guys, how's everybody doing? We are back with Vanguard 0 after climbing... Okay, last season was... Oh, we got... Oh yeah, I crafted her just now. So I've been working on Angel Feathers. So last season, I managed to pull it off. Like as promised, I pulled it off. Where is it? Early June. Right there. There we go. 947. Legend 33. Blazing Warrior. Blazing Lion. Whatever. Incandescent. Ezel. Top 1000. Like I said, as promised. 4 Ezels. 4 Ezels for free. Piece of cake. Right? Well, no, it's not a piece of cake. This was not easy, guys. I'm just gonna be straight with everybody. This was tough. This season was tough. To get this card, I had to play way more than I had to play in any of the previous seasons. And I guess, I mean, as long as you have the time to play the game and you're competitive enough to be able to get well above Legend 20, because the biggest challenge playing ranked, now that VP farmers are pretty much really rare to see, is that you have to go on these insane win streaks. That's like the only way to do it. It's crazy. You have to go like 4 or 5 win streaks in a row. Yeah, I'm pretty proud because this was tough, guys. I'm not gonna lie. This season was very competitive. If you wanted those Ezels, you had to fight tooth and nail. Now, granted, I would say 1 Ezel, Legend 10 is pretty... I don't want to say it's super easy to get, because you still have to win, like, what? 4? Yeah, you gotta win, like, 4 games. If you lose one, then you gotta win like 5 or maybe even 6 games to get Legend 10. Because your rank, like, per rank, it's like 30, then you win again, 60, then you win again, 90. So you need like 4 wins to rank up for each rank from 0 to 10. But getting... Okay, the problem with climbing now without VP farmers, because I'm telling you guys, because they killed off VP farmers, finishing in top 1000 is actually hard. Well, at first you might think it's easier, but no, it's not. It's actually harder to finish in top 1000 now, because the problem is when you get to Legend 20. And if those of you that were on my weekend stream, because I was streaming on, I think it was Saturday or Sunday, it was one of those 2 days. I did like a 4-hour stream, from a different time hour. Like I started way early. And I did mostly Granblue, and I was climbing with Granblue, and it was really rough. Like, that was not a good day. You guys could see I was getting a little bit tilted toward the end, midway through that stream, because things were not going my way. I kept drawing my grade 3s. I kept damage checking, like, boosters and stuff, and my opponent would always damage check a draw trigger on me, like, when I would first sack them, second attack them. Lots of MLB opponents. It was just super annoying. So that was pretty rough. But when you get to Legend 20, to go beyond Legend 20 now is so much harder than it's ever been. Because, like, the only way to finish in top 1000 is you have to basically get... Well, it depends on how competitive the season is. Because if we look at... Because I did it. I mean, I got the 4 of them. I got my 3 from Legend 30, and then I got my top 1000 one, which I finished in Legend 33. Like I said on the previous stream, I said I guessed that like, I kind of, like, said Legend 33 is where it's going to be at. I think that's going to be where the cutoff point is, and I was dead on, because at Legend 32, technically, if you were Legend 32 with, say, like 80 points, or 80 plus points, you probably finished in top 1,000, but I'm not 100% sure, because I was Legend 32 for a long time, and then I kind of like sat there, and I watched my position, you know, slowly creep up. Like, I was like 870 something, and then I saw it go to 900 something, then 940, then 970, and then I was Legend 32, and with like, I think 14 points or something, and then I realized, oh, this isn't gonna be good, so it's a little too close for comfort, and so I had to go up to Legend 33, and then when I got to Legend 33, I was like 864 or something. Oh, I got 2 million VP like way before. Like yesterday, I was already at 2 million VP. I went up to like, I think my final VP count was like almost 2.2 million. But yeah, like, I thought it was going to be Legend 33, and I was right. But it depends on how competitive the season is, because if you look here, like, if you look at the other 2 times that I placed in top 1,000 was the Reindeer season and the CEO season. If you look, like, in the Reindeer season, I was Legend 61, and I finished at 823. In the CEO season, I was Legend 66, and finished 951. So that tells you that there were more people trying to get the top 1,000 during the CEO season compared to the Reindeer season. So it's kind of interesting how that works out. I mean, the what is it? Perfect Riser. I didn't even bother. Like, I just wanted four cards, and that was it. So I just let it go at like Legend 55. I stopped. But now it seems like the only bad thing about killing off VP farmers is, you know, you don't get as many gems. I feel like you still can get 2 million VP if you play the game a lot. That's fine. But you don't get as many gems, because now you don't climb as far up the ladder anymore. And Legend 50 is where it like tapers off, and then because if you look at the rewards, what is it? Like, you get season rewards. Top 1,000 being below is kind of bad. It's bad because you don't get all of this stuff anymore. See, like, okay, Legend 30 is a really good stopping point, because, you know, after Legend 30, you no longer get 50 gems. You get 30 gems, and then you get like 100 gems at the 5 multiple. So 35, you get 100, and then you get 100 at 40, and then you get, what, like 100 at 45, and then at Legend 50, you get the 4th card, and then after that, it drops down to only 20 gems, and there's no more, like, 100 gems in between. So, you run into diminishing returns in terms of gems once you go past Legend 50. Yeah, that's true. You get the 4th normal version. But, the thing is now, you would think at first that you don't have to play as much compared to like before they killed VP farmers, but the reality is you actually end up playing more. At least I had to play more. Unless you start the season like really, really early, like today, and you try to hit like Legend 5 today, and then like Legend 10, you know, in like 2 days or 3 days, I think it becomes really hard if you start late now, because there's no more VP farmers to help you get those free wins. So, and when you lose, especially once you're past Legend 10, okay, Legend 20 is where it gets really hard. Legend 20 is where it's like insanely hard, because you basically have to go on insane win streaks. They don't play as long. JP version people don't have as many people. See, I'm really curious to see how the Japanese version actually, like, how the player base compares to global. Don't have as many people, and they don't play as long. Character fights give you a lot. Yeah. See, as long as you guys do... See, the thing is, you don't have to actually get Legend 10 or 20 each season. What I tell people that I know who don't really have a whole lot of time to play the game, what I tell them is try to get Legend 10, and if you don't have enough time to play to get Legend 10, then at the very, very minimum, get Legend 5, because you at least get the card sleeves. So you can at least collect the card sleeves. Because Legend 5, I think Legend 5 should be doable for anybody who has played this game to at least get to the Legend 0 one time. Like, you might as well try to get Legend 5 every season, because it's not that hard to do. Legend 10, I mean, so it just depends on people's schedules. Some people just don't have time to play the game that much. So, I mean, if you look at a lot of other, like, streamers that stream this game, like Living Proof and those guys didn't even really go past Legend 20, because they just don't have the time. They got too many other things to do. And, to be honest, that's going to end up happening to me at some point as well. In the most recent, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, Different Fight got to top 1,000 at only Legend 15. Yeah, that tells me that the... But see, that doesn't necessarily mean the player base is small. I mean, what it means is that the people that play that game on the JP server are, like, super competitive, because that means if you're only able to finish in top 1,000... Okay, it does mean the player base can be really small, because if there's only, like, say, 3,000 people playing the game in a season, and then, you know, and some of those guys might not even be Legend, they might be in the lower ranks for whatever reason, right? They might not even be that good at the game, or they just play it really casually, or they're free to play, and they don't really bother to play too much ranked. So there's a whole bunch of reasons why that could be the case. 20 MLB Fest now. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Like, I'm not gonna lie. So I'll tell you guys how I got to Legend, how I got top 1,000. So, if you saw on stream, the decks that I used in the very beginning of the season, so day 1, I opened the packs, I built Ezel day 1, because I pulled 3 on the first day. I pulled 3 Ezel and 3 Pelennor. So I already had, like, a somewhat capable cheese deck, if you will, like a 9-crit cheesy deck that I could just, like, overpower MLB. Now, when I was climbing 2 days ago, when I was, like, Legend 30 or Legend 26 or 7, somewhere in there, I went 9-crit Ezel, and I'll never forget, I played against this MLB player. Like, this dude didn't even get a chance to ride... He didn't even get a chance to ride MLB. I killed him when he was still on Blaster Blade. I literally triple killed. He just didn't have a PG and he just straight up died. And I was like, yeah, this deck is way easier to climb with than MLB. Because I did try MLB, and I did actually climb quite a bit with MLB toward the end. But it just seemed slow. Like, I ran into, like, some Shadow players that would do cheesy things. Like, they'd ride up to Phantom Blaster, Dragon, and then they would, like, they would do such a high roll thing. I would give him, I would put him at 4 with MLB. Then he would go Phantom Blaster, Dragon, call the heal trigger, call something, call Nevin, draw 2 cards, call something, counterblast 2, sacrifice 3, gain a critical and 10k. Then he would, like, call some other stuff down, activate the effect a second time. So he would have, like, 3, he would have, like, 3 crit and 31k power. And then he just, like, killed me just like that. And I was like, seriously, that is such a high roll play. Because I was thinking, Ganslot's going to save me. Ganslot just didn't save me. But I was thinking, that guy's bad at the game. Because if you do that and the guy just PGs you, you just waste your entire resources. But I can see where he was coming from. He probably just didn't want to deal with MLB. And the random off chance that I didn't have the PG, he would just win the game. So, I mean, it works. I got lucky when I did my 9-crit Ezel deck and, like, killed an MLB player before he could even do the MLB play. So, I was okay with losing that match. But... yeah, I mean, the only problem with Shadows right now is Shadows, I feel like, against Narukami, like a competent Narukami deck can do pretty good against actually all of the meta decks. Narukami's that weird deck that can just come in and just, like, it can do the blockade thing and just end the game. It can go Dungaree and then, like, Desert Gunner, get your Interceptor. So Dungaree kills off one Interceptor, and then Desert Gunner, like, blocks the other Interceptor, and then, like, 3 swings to the Vanguard, and you basically lose if you're at 5. So stuff like that. Yeah, Narukami is really, really good. In fact, they are a clan that I plan to climb somewhat quite a bit this time around. So, last time, I mainly relied on Ezel. And that's why I wanted this card. Because I wanted... Ezel got me, like, all the way through the, like, super hard levels. Like, 20 to 30 and then beyond 30. It was mostly 9-crit Ezel. Like, that was the deck that I used. This is the deck that I used, if you guys want to see. This is the deck that I used to stay in top 1,000. Or even climb to top 1,000. It was a mix of this and MLB, as well as Granblue. You guys saw me using Granblue. I think I ranked up like 2 times with Granblue. From Legend 21 to like 23, or maybe 22 to 24, somewhere in there. Maybe 3 times. It was the early 20s was when I was using Granblue. And then... I hit a wall where it's like, I just kept running into a bunch of like MLB and Dote and like all these super meta decks, and it was just super annoying. So then at that point, I switched back to 9-crit Ezel and then just kind of like steamrolled through them. I mean, if I would beat them, I would beat them because they didn't have PGs. If I would lose, it was usually because I didn't have a PG when I needed it. It came down to like a Unga Bunga contest with MLB of who can crit the other faster, and I knew that MLB can always like... Sometimes MLB can brick. Like, sometimes, you know, like, he'll try to swing in where he needs Blaster Blade. I mean, he'll need Wingull to search his Blaster Dark, but then Ganslot comes in, like, heals his damage so he can't counterblast, he can't search his Blaster Dark. That stuff has happened. So I knew that there were certain, like, contingency issues that MLB can still run into, where if you go 9-crit, you can just kind of, like, power through it. And in the MLB matchup, you don't have to worry too much about him damage denying you, because he has the critical pressure, and if you're at 2, then you're pretty much guaranteed unless you heal down at 3, or, you know, stuff like that. So I feel like MLB and Ezel, particularly 9-crit Ezel, draw Ezel just doesn't deal enough damage. The draw Ezel or standard golds can do okay, but against decks that have inherent critical, they just kind of, like, they can't push as hard, and other than, like, doing their thing where they always have, like, 2 interceptors, it's like, you're not really gonna do it. You're gonna do, like, 1 damage to the opponent per turn most of the time, unless they just don't have a second interceptor, and then, you know, you're just gonna fall behind in terms of pressure. You'll be able to build up a board, but and keep cards in your hand, but it's like, why? I mean, the 9-crit one keeps cards in your hand anyway if you're playing the deck correctly, and that's the reason why I run this, and I run Vivian and the Lop-Ear Shooter, because I know that sometimes I'll be in a matchup where they do deny damage, so I do need some other ways to either, like, draw cards or build a board, and or if I just don't have Ezel, I have to rely on, like, Pelennor and Vivian and the other stuff to call cards. So, you know, stuff like that. But this was the deck that did most of the work in terms of climbing last season. The second one was Granblue, so my Cositis with the Spirit Exceed. I'm still kind of fine-tuning the deck. I took out Ruin Shade, but I might put it back in because I like this guy's ability to just draw cards. Like, so many games where this guy just drew me a perfect guard. Same thing with Dancing Cutlass. Like, this is a way too important card to sleep on if you're playing Granblue. If you're not going to run this guy, you can run Ruin Shade, but definitely run Dancing Cutlass. It's just way too good. But Granblue was really fun. What else did I climb with? I climbed with Shadows a little bit, not too much, but a little bit. Toward the end, I played this deck a little bit, but it was kind of... You know, the problem with Shadows is they're a little bit slow, but they're really good because they have really good utility. They have a lot of outs. They have retire power. They have draw power. You know, they have unflip. I mean, they got countercharging. They got filtering. They have critical. They have power over columns. You know, stuff like that. Free plus. It's overall a really good quality deck. But it's sometimes overpowered by other decks that can either stall them out more or just kind of... the deck can also screw itself over. We kind of talked about it where you call down your heal trigger and it top decks you another heal trigger, and then it top decks you another heal trigger, or top decks you a PG. I've seen that happen so many times playing against Shadows. And then they're kind of committed to use Phantom Blaster Dragon's effect because of all that stuff that just got thrown on the field that they were supposed to use in other ways. So, yeah, I used MLB. I used this deck, I think, from Legend 27 to 30 or 31. I used this deck quite a bit. And then I would alternate between this and my Ezel, Turbo Ezel. I found Turbo Ezel more fun. This deck is kind of... It's so repetitive. The plays are so repetitive. Once you play it a bunch of times, you just kind of get used to it. There's always different variations in what people choose to run. Some people might run like 3 Marin or 4 Marin or 4 of the Lian. Or, you know, like me, I put maximum 10k attackers because the 10k attackers can be really good at running over like Streaking Interceptors or Bumains or that kind of stuff. And then I prefer only 2 Bedivere. Most people run 3, but I like the Trumpeter because she can come in really, really clutch when you need that Blaster Dark on the field, because they either Saishin your Brave or whatever, and then, or Tejas your Brave, and then what are you gonna do? You need Blaster Dark, you know. So this thing can come in clutch a lot of times. So that's... But yeah, the MLB deck is pretty straightforward. Some people run Soul Saver at 1 and 1 Alfred, or 4 Palamedes and 1 Alfred. What else? So I used MLB, Ezel. I used Narukami a little bit. I used Narukami somewhere, like, before I built Granblue, I used Narukami. And then once I finished Granblue, I removed Narukami, and then I switched over to Granblue again. I climb from 25 to 30 with Shadows, and it gets very tedious to play it after a while. Yeah, it does. Yeah, because actually, so I switched... I was doing the same thing. I tried Shadows for a while, and either... I mean, you would win, and then you would go up against somebody that was either running, like, 9 crit Ezel, or MLB, or even Perfect Risers, and you would, like, if you didn't have a PG, because Badhar Kar called it down on the field, you top-decked it on the field, you know, or you damage checked one, and then Badhar Kar pulls the other one to the field, stuff like that happening. That was kind of annoying me, so I was like, no, we're going back to Ezel, because this is... It's a little bit slow, and at least with Ezel, I know if I luck sack like crazy in the early game, it's pretty much I'm going to win. Dote is good, but it's way too slow. This deck is... That's good, though. Overlord is good. I need to change this back, actually. I'm still using the Blazing Flare. But this deck... This deck is pretty solid. I'm not gonna lie. The Overlord, like the Streakin' or the non-Streakin' builds, both of them are really good. Might as well just fix this deck back to the way it's supposed to be. But yeah, the standard Overlord deck, I think this is the lineup. I can't remember. I think there's like 2 Ermo or something like that. Maybe Salamander, maybe 1 Salamander. I think this is, we need another grade 1. I guess put 1 more Gojo or something. No, put another one of these. I forget, because I never use this deck on ranked. I mean, I did use it, not this month though. Kind of like Blazing Flare though, but oh well. Actually, I would prefer to run Blockade. I think Dual Axe is good, but I think Blockade is better. Probably do something like this. Make Blockade the... Oh, I need to run 4 of something. I guess I'll put 4 Blockade and make it the heal. And in that case... I'll just not run Dual Axe, even though I guess I should. Yeah, I probably do need to run that. Just because you don't want to be sitting on Waterfall. I don't know, actually. You know what? Because Blockade, you can just go Blockade and just end the game. But I don't know. Maybe I should just go one. Do it like this. Whatever. I don't really use the deck anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But anyway, so Ezel, MLB, a little bit of Shadows, a little bit of MLB. MLB more than Shadows, though. Those were the 4 and Granblue. Those 5 is what I used to climb last time. A little bit of Narukami. This time, though, we're going to do it differently. This time, instead of using Ezel, it's weird because you would think that I'd want to use this deck after working so hard to get this card. But it's like, no, I'm not going to use Ezel this time. Instead, I'm going to focus more on Narukami. Because I opened 50 packs to get the premium, gacha, whatever. And then I exchanged the 50... And when I opened those 50 packs, I guess I should have done them on stream. But I wasn't expecting to pull anything. I didn't really care what I was going to pull. I just mainly wanted to pull Angel Feather stuff. I ended up pulling 2 Dungarees. So now I have 4 Dungarees. Because originally I had 2 and 3 Vermilion. And today I went from having 2 Dungaree up to 4 Dungarees. So I pulled 2 Dungarees. So now I have a playset. So now I'm going to play Narukami a little bit more. Still kind of not sure 100% on this lineup. But Narukami is one that I'm going to be using this season. And Angel Feathers is going to be one that I'm going to be using. Because I used those 50 coupons to get the second Shamshield. And I was hoping to pull another No-Seal. But unfortunately I didn't. Instead I pulled 2 more of the Grade 1. So I overdrew. I have like 5 of these, so one of them got turned into material. So I'll soon be able to craft a 3rd Shamshield. Try the Jin deck. The Jin deck for Narukami. They can't boost though. Oh yeah, with the little starter they can. Yeah, you're right. I could try it. I always think like those cards. The Jin cards are for this build, like this along with Dungaree. I think of when I think of Narukami, when I think of the Jins, I think of that build like the Dungaree and the Exorcist Mage. I think of them as like spellcasters, like they're the mage or the spellcasters. You know, they're the dark magicians of Narukami, and then like the rest of them, Vermilion and the Desert Gunners, those are like the non-magic users. So that's what I think of when but yeah, it's a good idea to try that off. That'd be pretty cool actually, because this guy's pretty good. It's a weak booster, but it doesn't go anywhere. But you can be sure that when you play against Shadows or Kogero or somebody that can blow up the boosters, they're gonna want to kill this guy off. That's the only bad thing about it. Or in the mirror matchup, Saishin's gonna want to kill this off. So it's good. It's good against like decks that can't retire it, like OTT, you know, Perfect Riser, Blau, Angel Feathers, all that kind of stuff. But I think against the meta, with the exception of MLB, but that deck doesn't really care. You know, it's gonna have some trouble. But it would be cool to try it out. But I'm just pretty stoked that I got 4 Dungaree, because I do want to play Dungaree Unlimited. So now that I have 4, without even trying to collect this card, it just kind of, they just threw 2 of them at me today. They threw 2 at me on day 1, and now they threw 2 more at me. So I still need a 4th Vermilion. I'm not too worried about it, because this will be a ranked reward. But I'm still going to try to craft it as soon as I get 100 crystals. As soon as I get 100, I'm going to be crafting the 4th one. Because I don't know if this is going to be a ranked reward or if it's going to be a tournament reward. Because if they do... I don't know. If they like skip like they did last time, this guy... It's not guaranteed that this is going to be a ranked reward. This could end up being a tournament reward instead. So it'll be... If that's the case, then it'll be harder to grind for it. Because you're going to need like 50 of those things. Here now, finally, Legend. Massive long streak with golds, like it wasn't even funny. And that's the reason why I chose golds to climb last season, because you can get on like some insane win streak with this deck if things go your way. I mean, you can't always say that with the other decks, because the other decks are a little bit more grindy. This deck is a little bit, this is less grindy. This is more high roll. Dimension, please. I do want to try a little bit of Pale Moon as well. And I feel like the time to test the lower tier decks is when you're Legend 0 to Legend 10. Once you get to Legend 10 and beyond, you're going to want to start playing more of the meta decks, because it's harder to rank up at that point, especially once you hit Legend 20. You're most likely not going to be using the meta or the non-meta decks. Exactly. That's why when I was... Honestly, when I go up against MLB with Gold Paladin, I don't really care too much about it being MLB, because I feel like I'm playing a deck that can beat it. I'm playing a deck that can outpace it. That's just how it is. Same thing when you go against Kagero. The only thing that I worry about when I'm in the Kagero matchup is not the end. I worry about the regular Overlord showing up when both of us are at 5 damage and he has 3 Counterblasts ready, and he goes and activates that stupid Counterblast 3 and gain 5k power and gain the ability to stand up. This annoying card, this card right here, is the card that caused me the most trouble in the Kagero matchup when I was playing as Golds. This is the only card that is the problem for me when I go up against Kagero. I don't really care about this. I don't care about this. I don't care about anything in the deck except this card right here. This is the only one. Sometimes this card will show up, and at that point, it's like you can't really do anything about it, but most of the time, people aren't running too many of these. Some people don't even run this card. But this is the one that everybody's expecting. This is the one that can just win games for you. Do I think Dudley Emperor will be good? Oh, yes, he will be good, and I will be climbing with him. I was getting to that. I was talking about what I'm going to climb with this season. So one of them is Angel Feathers, and another one is Granblue. But what I'm going to do is when Spike Brothers comes out, as I start building the deck, I will start migrating away from Granblue and replacing them with Spike Brothers. And Spike Brothers is going to be a lot better than Granblue to climb with. Like, a lot better. Like, there's no debating that. It's just more powerful overall. But yeah, Dudley Emperor will be very good. So if you guys, I'm telling you right now, save your gems. Do not use your gems on the premium gacha. If you want the premium gacha, use tickets. Don't use gems. Save your gems for the Spike Brother event. You will need to reset your stamina on character fights at least maybe like 10 times. You're going to have to spend like 1,000 gems. Unless you get super lucky on the pulls, you're going to want to save those gems for the Spike Brother event. Because trust me, if you're free to play and you want to climb with a really strong deck, you're going to want to go all in on Spike Brothers, because the deck will be very powerful until Aquaforce comes out, which means it'll be strong for the rest of this month, and it'll be strong for the next 2 seasons, basically all of next month. Would you play one of Seyfried for Skydiver? So, okay, I'm not 100% sure on the new cards, but I do know for a fact what I will be replacing. I will be taking Seyfried out completely. I will probably not run him anymore at all. And I will keep one Skydiver. The reason why I would rather keep Skydiver is because, first of all, he's 11k. So if you have to ride him for like 1 turn or 2 turns or whatever, at least you're sitting on an 11k Vanguard. Now, the thing is with Seyfried, when he's a Vanguard, when he's boosted, he can swing 13. But again, that's if he's boosted. If he's not boosted, then he's just a 10k attacker. At least this is an 11k attacker. So, but you might say, oh, that doesn't really matter because Spike Brothers run 9 draw and they have to, like, sometimes the Vanguard has to swing into interceptors. And that's true, but I feel like Skydiver is way too... He's a lot more useful for what he can enable the deck to do. So I would rather run him as my one of, rather than Seyfried. Seyfried, unfortunately, I mean, I'll playtest both builds, but I do kind of think that Skydiver is better because he can enable like a big wombo combo or like a big crush rush, you know? Like basically what he does in the first edition of the deck, think of him as Diamantes. He's your Diamantes, or he's your Thanatos, or your Nightmare Doll Alice. You don't want to not have that card. So I don't know, I might even... What I'm thinking of doing is I'll probably run multiple Skydiver and less Juggernaut Maximum. I'll probably drop Juggernaut to 3, and I'll keep Skydiver at like 2 copies. So what I'll probably do is Siegfried becomes Demonic Lord Deadly Emperor. You can think of this guy will become a Jelly Beans. 2 of this will become a Jelly Beans, and then 1 of this will become a Jelly Beans. So I'll probably have 4 Jelly Beans as the heal. I'll have 4 Demonic Lord Deadly Emperor as a draw. I'll have 3 Juggernaut Maximum as a draw, and then like 2 Skydivers as a draw. I'm probably going to do something like that, because I feel like Skydiver is just way too useful at allowing you to do big plays. So I would probably run 1 or more, at the very least 1 Skydiver, probably 2. The thing I hated the most, an MLB player, I opened the team. Cute 4-pack. You got your second MLB, I made it another. Well, yeah, because I told myself I told myself I'm not gonna climb with MLB. That's just, I can't stoop that low. But the thing is, it was one of those things. It was like a scene from like Gundam. It was like from a Gundam anime. It was like, if you can't beat him, join him. Or it's like, you know, it's one of those things where it's like fight fire with fire, or you guys wanted this because you guys, everybody complained about VP Farmers, and I was the one guy defending VP Farmers, and then they go and take VP Farmers away, and then it's like everybody's annoyed because it's so hard to climb because MLB's everywhere. I'm like, okay, you guys wanted this, so here I come. I'm going to be playing MLB now. So exactly, it would go to the dark side. It's funny, you go from Shadow Paladin to MLB, where MLB is the true dark side. Because MLB is so much more annoying to play against. But I'm going to be playing as Angel Feathers this season. At least initially, until I finish Spike Brothers. So I used my 50 tickets to get my second Champ Shield, and I'm close to getting a second Champ Shield, or a third Champ Shield. I should have one. See, okay. I pulled another one of these, so I can deconstruct both of these SP Ergodials, because I already have 4 Ergodials. So if I wanted, I could deconstruct both of these to get 100 orbs. That would put me at 173, so then I would only need, like, you know, 27 more orbs, and, you know, almost about the same amount, well, a little bit less on the crystals, but I'll be able to build a third, or craft a third Sham Shield, and then the deck would be pretty good, because I feel like Sham Shield is one of those cards where you only really need like 3 of it for the deck to be pretty consistent. I mean, I get, yeah, 4 is ideal, but it's like, if you run 3 Sham Shield, because usually Kyriel is a better early Vanguard, so that's why I feel like 4 of her is essential, 4 of this is essential as the heal. But this is one deck that I have been working on. I pulled 2 more no-seals, so I had 5 of the grade 1 no-seal, so one of them got turned into material, so now I have a playset of those. I wish it would have been the 4th, or it would have been another one of the grade 2, but it is what it is, so instead I have to play 4 of the grade 1 now. That's okay. But we'll be playing as Angel Feathers a little bit here on stream. But this is one of the decks that I want to test out. It's in better shape than it was before, mainly because I have the second Sham Shield now, and I at least have 4 of this. Ideally, you only really need 3 of the grade 1, and you would want 4 of the grade 2, but you could also go 3 and 3, like how I was running it originally, and then in that case, you would run either a Self-Damager or another 8k Vanilla. You were stuck at Legend 20 for 3 days because of MLB. Yeah, you'd have to switch to, like, Ezel and just power through. Same legend for 5 days. Yeah, exactly, right? That's what I was saying. Like, once you get to Legend 20, it's like, in terms of the difficulty level, it's like Legend 0 to 10 is kind of like this, and then Legend 10 to 15, or 10 to 20, the difficulty is like that, so like it's steeper. But then once you hit Legend 20, to go beyond Legend 20, the difficulty is like almost like a vertical line. It's like you're trying to scale a cliff. At that point, it's like you're having to like scale a cliff. It's like, and then you get knocked back down, and you have to climb back up. It's yeah, you win one and you lose one, and then you're back where you started. It's super annoying. I wish that you would lose, like, instead of you losing 20 points, you would lose like 15 points. Like, why do they make you lose an equal amount to how much you win? It's like, the only way to win without a win streak is to beat people who are so much further ahead of you that you get about 30 points. Like, you'll get like 24 points, or like 27 points, or 30 points if you beat someone who's like 20 levels above you. And then at that point, you just better hope that you win the next game, because if you lose, then you might just, you know, still not, you'll only gain like 4 points or 10 points at best. Well, I think, no, they need to implement the change at Legend 20, not Legend 30, because it's Legend 20 and beyond is the same, it scales the same. 1,000 and 100 wasn't that bad. Much more deck diversity than below 1,000 in top 100. Well, the thing is, doesn't the system, don't they just always match you up with, like, they don't even try to match you up with people who are in the same rank as you, which I think is stupid. I kind of think they should do that, but it's so random. It's like, you'll go against a guy who's not even Legend. It's like, you'll go against a guy who's a rookie, and then your next match might be someone who's already in like top 100. And then the next match might be someone who's in S rank, or B1 or something, or Legend, or something similar to you. There's no like, there's no group, like the groups, the rankings don't mean anything. There's no actual like boundaries between people in different Legend ranks or different groups. It's all over the place. Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, if you're trying to finish, if you're trying to get the third Ezel, yes. If you're trying to get the third Ezel, because there was a point where I was like, you know what? I don't even care if I finish in top 1,000. I just want that third Ezel at this point, because I'm already like Legend 27. I just want to get to Legend 30 so I can have the third copy. Is it really that hard to do this? Do they really have to make it this hard? But this season was harder than all the other seasons combined. Oh, are the hackers back? That's not good. That's really not good. But Angel Feathers is one of those where I'm slowly building it up. It's just like Pale Moon. I've had to craft most of the stuff. It's like they didn't give me the cards out of the gate, with the exception of the no seals. They gave me 3 grade 1 and 3 grade 2 no seals. Actually, no, they only gave me 2 with the grade 2. I crafted this one. They gave me 1 Sham Shield, and I got the second Sham Shield from the coupon exchange. The only good thing out of opening 50 packs, because honestly, guys, I did not want to open 50 packs. I didn't want to do the premium gacha, because I had 80 packs. I had 80 packs today, and I opened 50 of them. I can show you right here. See, I'm down to 32. I had 82. I had 82 packs because I opened 50 today. So I was up there. I was saving my packs because I want to build Pale Moon. I want to build Spectral Duke Dragon next month. So I was thinking, do I really want to open these packs? But then I was like, oh, I mean, I want to build, I want to climb with something other than 9 crit Ezel and MLB. So let's try Angel Feathers. I mean, I'll try Narukami also. So I was like, okay, let's do it. Let's just go through this thing and see how this works. So we opened 50 packs, pulled 2 Dungaree, pulled a bunch of random Great Nature double rares, pulled a couple of Angel Feather double, a bunch of stuff to turn into material. And then I was like, yeah, let's get it. So we got that Sham Shield, number 2. And I pulled another no seal while I was pulling that stuff, so I got stuff out of it. All the golds. I got all the golds. I got all. I have all the SP Ezzles, and I've got all the original Ezzles. They handed me Ezzle on day 1. They said you are destined to play golds, and I proved them right. This was the deck that I climbed with this boy right here, all the way up. And then he transformed into this guy. And then he finally went Super Saiyan 3. And then now he's like this. I wonder if we'll get Premium Gacha again. I don't know. Maybe. I think they should do it once every month, actually. To be honest. If they're not going to do the rate up thing. Because usually the rate up only happens at the end of a season. I mean, at the end of like the anime season, so like or the story season. So in our case, we're in the beginning of season 2. So don't expect to see like a clan rate up on the gacha until at least until Aqua Force is out, I would think. Unless they haven't done it in Japanese, so I don't know. Maybe they're not gonna do it at all. You're skipping next set for Aqua Force? Well, I'm gonna play Aqua Force, but I just want to play Pale Moon. I just want to play Pale Moon. So this is someone was asking earlier to see my Pale Moon deck, so this is the one I'm using right now. It took me a long time to craft this deck, but I finally have it. So it's gonna be getting upgrades. In fact, I need to do my character fights to get material. I want to craft another Sham Shield, so I need to do the Rekka fights. I've been focusing mostly on Asuka for Pale Moon materials. So you can see during double normal drop, I spam only normal. I didn't get any hard or very hard fights in, but now it's the complete opposite. So I'm kind of working my way up there. I'm not worried about the pieces because you get these, you'll get a ton of these when you open the packs for next season. So I'm not too worried about the rare material because I'm really low on rare material. It's funny how I have more double R material than rare material. But this one and Narukami, I need to focus on Narukami because Narukami, I've got enough orbs because today I opened a whole bunch of, I pulled a bunch of Death Scythes and Garudas, and then all of them got turned into orbs, so we've got lots of orbs now. So I might do Narukami, but I really want to get this. I'm only missing the 4th Vermilion, though, so, but I'm gonna stick to my guns, try to get the 100 on those orbs, or on the crystals. When is the clan event? This weekend. It starts Saturday evening, for those wondering. So, Spike Brothers starts this weekend. In the middle of the weekend. Yeah, it's the 18th in the evening. I don't know why it's in the evening, but it is. Set up my free stamina so I can use it all on the event fights. Free stamina? Oh, you mean the grade? The grade up? This stuff? I used it. So the way I used my free stamina was to get all the characters to very hard. Because you have to use stamina to do all these character fights. I got all 4 of them to very hard, like by the second day. All 4 of them were like 3-star everything. As long as you have gems, you can use the gems on character fights, on stamina resets for the Spike Brother event. So I wouldn't worry. Like I always tell people, save your gems for the clan events. Don't open packs with the gems. Only open packs with the packs. I mean, if you are pay to play, that's a completely different story. Because those guys, I mean, I've watched a bunch of people who also stream the game semi-casually on YouTube. And I haven't really seen many people on Twitch do this, but I've seen people on YouTube, you know, buy like the big 6,000 gem thing. They'll buy the max on that, and then they'll just open like 200, 300 packs or something like that, and then they'll just pull everything. So, I mean, that's the part where I think the community is kind of divided, because they killed off free-to-play in a way where you can't VP farm anymore. So now the people who are going to be still building the decks day one are the people who are just going to like throw money on the gems, in addition to still like using up all their tickets. I used up my gems for Neonectars. Oh, but you should still have some gems. I used my gems for Neonectar. I also used gems for Granblue, and I have almost 2k now. And I didn't even get to Legend 50. That's the main thing I was complaining about earlier on the stream, was I was saying how, because you don't really go to Legend 50 anymore, you miss out on all those extra gems, because you're not gaining those 50 gems anymore. I mean, now granted, it scales up to Legend 30, and then after that, it kind of tapers down to 30 gems, but you're still not really getting these gems anymore. Because now most people aren't even probably going to go past Legend 10, to be honest. I mean, there'll be people who I guess the hardcore people will go to Legend 30 and try to finish in top 1,000, and then like the really, really hardcore, you know, the people who don't have anything better to do, I guess, they're going to be the ones that you see in the top 100. But I think over time, it might end up becoming more like the JP server, where it's like less people play ranked overall, so the player base becomes smaller, and then you only really need to go to like Legend 17 or someone. I think Asterisk or someone was saying earlier that like Different Fight finished at Legend 17 and he was in top 1,000 or something like that. I mean, at that point, if that's the case, I don't have a problem with that at all, because you don't even have to play that much. You're guaranteed to get the SP. You're guaranteed to get Legend 20. You get 2. That's 3 right there. If there's very few people, you'll end up in like top 100. Who knows? If you get to Legend 30, then you're in top 100. You know, stuff like that. Grind to Legend 15 this season for the 200 gem. Yeah, I would say try to get Legend 20. I think Legend 20, if you play this game a lot, not like super hardcore, but if you play it a lot, a good amount, where you can get like 2 million VP every season, aim for Legend 20. That's what I'll say. Try to aim for Legend 20. That way you get 2 of the card. You get 2 of the card, and you get those gems. Legend 20 is where like you hit the wall. Like there's an insane difficulty spike to climb beyond Legend 20. That's why I feel like most streamers probably don't go beyond Legend 20. They're probably going to be doing other things. And I'll be honest with you guys, I don't plan to always climb and place in top 1,000 every season. There will be seasons where I don't do it. I mean, I've done it before. I didn't do it in the Kagero, the Overlord one. I didn't place in top 1,000 on the Perfect Riser one, even though I could have. I purposely just didn't. I just didn't care. So I'm not going to do it like every season. Now this one, I do want the Riviera cards, so I am going to go for top 1,000 again, just like last season. I do feel like this season will be less competitive than last season, because I feel like Ezel was one of those cards where Ezel is a card that will go far for a long time. It'll be relevant in the game for a very long time compared to Riviere. Riviere won't be really relevant until Legion, and that's assuming that we actually get the Legion for Riviere. But Riviere will get a boost later on, way later on. So yeah, I think the second half of the month, this new season, will be more relaxed compared to last season. I think the Ezel season was the one where it's like everybody was trying so hard to get a place out of that card, and they probably didn't even build golds because they were just using MLB the whole time, or you know, there exist like shadows or whatever they had from the previous month, and they just won that place out of Ezels for free, and then they got it, and then they're now gonna take a break. Now they're just gonna like chill out, not even really play that much this season. That's what I kind of think is gonna happen. I don't really know for a fact if that's gonna happen, but that's my take on it. Because it was the same thing with last month. Perfect Riser Everybody was going for Perfect Riser in the first half of the month. Then in the second half of the month, when it was Riviera or Reindeer as the reward, then it was like no one really cared that much. I mean, there were still people playing, but they didn't really care as much. And there were people that were already complaining about MLB and VP Farmers. So they were complaining about two things that kind of counterbalanced each other. So then the game was like, okay, we'll take away the VP Farmers. So then now you have MLB to contend with. So then MLB becomes uncontested. See, so that's what ended up happening. And now people are even more complaining about climbing the rank. People are playing since I recall everybody complained. Yeah, well... I think people are just playing because they're playing. Alright, so let's go. Let's try Shamshiel. I really want to learn how to play Angel Feathers this time around. I didn't really pay much. I mean, I wanted to play them last time, but I didn't have. I feel like the deck wasn't done. Like, I was missing 2 of the heal trigger. I only had 1 Shamshiel. Okay, so now, okay, with this opening hand, I like having the no seal. We'll ride this, we have an interceptor. So this is actually a pretty good hand, so we'll just keep the whole hand. And it's nice to see Granblue and not MLB on the first attempt at this. Early half of last season, I was running into a lot of MLB, but in the later half, it was Ezel, and I was running Ezel in the second half of that season as well, because people just realized, like, they got sick of MLB, and Ezel's just as easy to climb with. Alright, so we're gonna go into the pony. And do I want to try to push 2? Because he's going to use his Cositis most likely later on. So if we go 7 down the middle, but we run stands, I guess we're not going to be able to do anything. I don't want to commit too many resources here. We'll keep this around for one turn, because I have the no seal to fish whatever goes in the damage zone. And that might be useful. Oh no, she goes there. Never mind. Any tip for Bermuda Triangle with no Pearl Scissors? Run a lot of the vanillas and run the Blazer Idols. And what's her name? Snow White of the Corals Claire. Run a few of those. I can show you my Bermuda decks. I've got 2 lists after this. Alright, he's gonna probably throw Cositis in there if he's on the grade 2. But he could throw... Yeah, he's gonna throw Cositis. He's got, like... Okay, so he's gonna try to push me to 2. He gets a heal. That's really good for him because... well, it could be bad for him because if I only give him 1 damage, then he won't be able to call anything with Cositis. So I might only just deal him 1 damage. I'll kill his Interceptor and then kill off Cositis. The PG goes in there. That's totally fine because we run no seals. So I think what I'll do here is... I could even ride... I could go into Armoros. I could go Armoros and then the pony on the rear guard. Or I could just go no seal. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. I got an idea. Alright, let's go into Armoros because I'm going to counterblast 2 and draw. So I want that PG, so we're going to kill off his dude over there. What's in the damage zone? Let's see. Okay, we have a grade 1. I want that PG, though. Although I could leave it for later, because we have Shamshiel. So I guess we'll put this in. And then we will fetch the... Let's see. So I don't have a booster. I want a booster, because we run stand. So we're going to go ahead and get the grade 1. That's the nice thing about Angel Feathers. You have a lot of options. So we can put that there. We can put this here in the event that I check a stand. And the power will go to it. So now we'll just do this. Kill his 8k, and we're going to draw a card. In fact, I might want to use my... I'm going to go ahead and use my heal trigger here to put it back. Okay, we check a heal. That's a little unfortunate because now I won't be able to counterblast 2 and draw off of that. And The bad thing about that is that my PG went in the drop zone, so sometimes it doesn't really work out, but it's okay. Yeah. I thought about that, but I was thinking I need the booster. Long term, I need the booster, though. Because we run some stands. But he didn't get enough damage to call anything with Cositis, so he wasn't able to free plus off of us. And now he's going to get to call probably the zombie dragon. Because oh wait, no, he could do that. He could get Night Mist because it's gonna be 14, yeah. It's interesting how that works out. Well, we got another PG in there. With any other clan, that would be a bad thing, to be out 2 PGs already just like that. Oh, we just drew into one. Okay, so now what do I want to do? If we have to ride Shamshiel, so just go ahead and ride Shamshiel. And because he's a 10k Vanguard, we can also use this. But I want to get that PG now. So let's go ahead and call this here. Call this here, and then I want to get... Well, I don't need to get it now because I already have... So let me think this through. I'm going to attack like this. The pony will go to the Night Mist. Grab the no-seal? So I guess I put this here. Put that. And then grab this? Or this? Oh, wait. But I already have the PG. I already have a PG in my hand. I kind of want that grade 2, though. I don't know if I needed to do that. Let's just go ahead and do this. Get the PG out of there for now. Alright, so now that powered up. Alright, we have to move. We're running out of time. So that goes there. Shamshield will go to 14. Alright. Then now we're gonna call the face down one. Now she's gonna go up to 14. So that swings 20 down the middle. So now we can do... Oh, we got 20 over here. So we can do this. And then if we check a stand, it won't really do anything, but we'll see. We only run 4 though. Alright, so that was actually pretty good. It worked out. We have 2 PGs in our hand now. He knows I have 1. He doesn't know about the other one. The only problem is we don't have another interceptor from the hand, so we kind of have to draw into one. That's why I prefer to run 5 draw and only 4 stand in here. So we still have 3 stands, 4 draws, and 2 heals. Actually, we have 3 heals because we still have our starter as well. Okay, he rerode Cositis. See, that's why I feel like this deck tends to re-ride. That's the reason why I feel like Dancing Cutlass is very, very good in Granblue. Okay, he's taking advantage of the 10k Vanguard as well with Thanatos. He uses Thanatos as a heal, I mean, as a draw trigger though. Oh wow, there goes the 4th PG. But that's interesting because he does that. That tells me that he probably doesn't have 4 of these because this is the best heal trigger that they've got. Alright, so we still have 2 stands, we still have 3 heals, 4 draws. But the only thing is, now he's got 2 interceptors. This is the reason why I kind of feel... Okay, well, we'll be able to do stuff with this. So now we can use Shamshield's Limit Break, but we're going to have to swing into... We're going to have to do something like this. Yeah. Shamshield will have to kill the other one. Or no, she'll have to swing first, because I need the pony to power up. So she'll kill this one. He already knows I have that. And then now, I guess, because I'm at 5, we'll just grab it back. Because I don't have any interceptors. I won't be able to get any more attacks. So we kind of need to heal down this turn. Alright, that's good. So now, because we run stands, I gotta think this through. That's already guaranteed to hit him, so we'll just go ahead and do this. Stands won't really matter here. But that's exactly what I needed. I needed one of those. And the good thing about running stands instead of crits is that you run into situations with this deck where you need the Vanguard to kill the Interceptor, just so that your pony can power up to kill the second one. So stuff like that ends up happening. So he checked the heal on damage, so that's his third one, I believe. So yeah, he's out 3. I'm out 3, but I still have 2 more. So now we'll see what he does. I have no interceptors, and I'm at 4 damage, so we're probably gonna have to take 2 PGs this turn to block twice. And that's good that he runs Dancing Cutlass, because I definitely agree that this card is a must-have in Granblue right now. I haven't seen any stand triggers from him yet. What's this? That's a draw trigger. He could also run criticals too. That's going to be huge. That shuts down this. In fact, it even shuts down Cositus potentially. Now he'll need to hit a trigger with Cositus to hit. So this could save my PGs. Okay, well, it saves one of them. Yeah, I think it's 9 draw. It might be. I don't know. His Cositus is a draw. His Thanatos is a draw. This is a draw. His Undead Dragon is a heal. It's probably 9 draw. Okay. So Armoros will help a lot because I'm going to draw another card. Shamshield will fish my other PG out of there. This has to back up. We run stance, so we need to power up our lanes. Put that there. I guess put him here. Oh, wait. Okay. Okay. Armoros kills that. Counterblast 2 draw. Shamshield attacks. I want to get that second PG, so I don't want to use this. Alright, I guess we'll just do this. Let's do this. I want to fish that second Perfect Guard out. Oh, that would have been a heal. That's okay. Alright. Now, we'll get a second PG so we can try to hit triggers on the pony so that we can kill that other thing. So go ahead and put this in there. Get this. So now we have 2 PGs again. And now I'd like to hit a heal again or something. Or a stand maybe. Okay, we hit stand. That's good. Alright, so now this is already 18. I need to try to... I just have to put it here. Because this hits over a defensive. Okay. So that's the first one. He's out 7 draw, so yeah, he's running 9 draw. So what will happen here is we're gonna lose our PGs unless he attacks the pony. If he kills our grade 1 Pegasus. Okay, he's gonna set up 2 interceptors, but I think what he's just gonna try to go for game here. Because I think if I was at 5, he would probably swing at the pony, and then the last attack would go to the Shamshield. Oh wow, he gets another draw. So that's his. He's only got one heal and one draw. Most likely at this point he probably has one other grade 3 in his hand though. Probably a heal trigger, who knows. He's only got 9 cards left in the deck. Alright. So, okay, I gotta think this through. Again, he has the 2 intercepts, so how many stands? I've got 1 stand and 1 draw and 12 cards. So we... If I make the Shamshield attack the interceptor, then she'll do the thing with the pony, make the other one. Or I could just forget about that and go all to Vanguard. So the question is, do I call this down? Because if I can power the Pegasus up... Well, I can only power it up 1 time, though. So I guess we're just going to have to go like this. Yeah, so we'll have to see... Okay, hold on. Because I run stands, so we're going to have to do it this way. Oh, we didn't get it. Okay, well, that was pretty close. Because I think if I kept the card in hand, it would not have made a difference because... Well, the only difference is that I would have to... I'd have to swing with Shamshield first into an interceptor to power up the 7k to be able to hit his other interceptor. Oh, there was the last stand. Unfortunately, we didn't see the Sunny Smile Angel show up there once we put it back in the deck. I'm trying to think if I should run more of the self-damager, though, like in the grade 1 lineup. Because I only run 2. Oh, Narukami. Narukami is the one clan that I think does really, really good against Granblue and Angel Feathers. Because they don't really care too much about the... I guess we'll keep... Well... I guess we'll send those 2 back. In fact, we might as well just send this back, actually.
Stand up, the Vanguard.
Alright, so with Saishin, we don't really care because, well, the thing is, the opponent can just sit around with Saishin until we get a Grade 1 Pegasus out, and that's what he'll probably focus on retiring. But Sunny Smile, still, you don't want to sit around when he has a card that can retire it, because that's the 5th heal trigger, and you draw a card off of it. So we're definitely going to use it next turn. I'll probably hold on to Armros. I don't have to use her yet. So we're going to ride up with one of these. And I guess we just drew a stand. I don't think we need to try to do any stand things. We don't have the booster set up for it, so we're just going to attack like this. And the funny thing is, I don't have any grade 1s right now. Okay, now I got the grade 1. So now I have his retired target. So we have to be a little bit more strategic in when we want to use this card. The nice thing is he'll give me 2 damage unless I heal. Then I'll be able to use Kirill to call Armoros out. Or whatever the other card is that goes in the damage zone. Nine-draw Granblue is not that good. Because the deck, depending on, well, even with just Chappie, the deck is thinning itself. And then you have stuff like Dancing Cutlass, You can superior call things from the drop zone. It's kind of like Gold Paladins in a way, so you don't really need to run 9 draw. In fact, I think it's kind of necessary to run some kind of offensive trigger in that deck. Alright, so here what we could do is we can actually... Oh, we drew this back. That's actually really good. But now with Kyriel, we can... Well, if I go into Shamshiel, I won't be able to do anything, so I'm going to go into Kyriel. And I'm thinking if I should get the No-Seal up. So the No-Seal... The No-Seal can put the Shamshiel in and get the Armoros. And then I can get the Shamshiel later. So I think I'm going to do that. So call... Yeah, because if I... at least I'll have one other booster. Because I already have an Armoros. So we're going to want this. And we're going to want to put it... here. Yeah, that's what I'm planning to do. So we're going to put her in here for now. And we're going to take the grade 2 No-Seal out. Which is cool. That's what was thrown in there. So we'll take that. And then now we're going to put this. Hold up. Yeah, I'll get the grade 2 out. So go ahead and put this here. Put the grade 1 for now. Wait. No, put Armoros in there. Take the phase down Armoros. Get that up. Put this here. And not yet. And move this back. Wait. Don't need to send that back yet. Alright. We'll do it like this. I want to draw a card. We're going to draw a card off of this. He checks the defensive. So that's 1 to pass. Oh, we drew the stand. That doesn't matter. Now let's see if we just get like a different trigger. There we go. We got a draw. And we got the self-damager. That's good. And we get the heal on top of that. So that was like a... That turned into like a big brain play. I didn't even expecting that. Do you see what happened there? We used Armoros to draw. We unflipped all that damage. We unflipped Kyriel's damage. She +1 to the field with No-Seal. Then No-Seal put something in there, effectively countercharging. Then the grade 2 No-Seal was the thing that was in there from Kyriel's effect. Got that on the field. Then unflip the other thing. So effectively you countercharge 2, then use Armoros to +1, and then check the draw trigger on top of that. So that worked out pretty well. Okay, he can't... Okay. That's kind of weird how he did that. So now Saishin can't retire my stuff, but that's okay. Now, he had to ride this, so... Oh, okay. These things are interesting because they can't attack interceptors. So if I put 2 interceptors, and if he doesn't have a desert gunner, then this can't attack the interceptor either. So that's pretty funny, actually. Now he's just gonna kill my interceptor anyway. That's pretty funny. You just finished... Oh, the desk? Okay. I thought you said deck. I finished the deck. Okay, so there's no reason to rewrite any of this stuff. Shamshiel got healed away. That's a little unfortunate, so we're gonna skip ride. Let's see what we could do here. This is pretty funny. We can largely ignore this guy. I kind of wish I had another Armoros. I can't get limit break, so we're gonna hold off on calling this guy down. We don't have a No-Seal to fish anything out, so I guess we're just gonna call this, and this, and this. Okay. Alright, here we go. He's a 10k Vanguard, so we can abuse that with Hermieri or whatever her name is. Alright, it depends if he checks the defense. If he checked the defense, it was at 20. So now... Well, I can still kill his rear guard off. Get Armoros, because it's an interceptor. And it powers up this. So now we just swing in like that. And we got it. Double draw. Wow. Alright, that's hits for... That won't be enough to hit over. Goes to 25. So we gotta kill this guy. So we're doing pretty good. I mean... I wouldn't say I'm an Angel Feather player. I'm kind of trying to figure it out. But these are the decks that when you pull off these big plays like this, it's pretty satisfying playing the... Oh, okay, so he's going to try to push damage here. Okay. He's got Saishin. So Saishin's probably going to retire my grade 1. My Pegasus. See, and this is the thing where Narukami can come back from being behind. Now, he should probably swing Vanguard next. I wouldn't do that, because now if I check a defensive... See, now he... Well, let's see. I think he has checked quite a few triggers. No, he hasn't checked any, so he has a good chance of checking a trigger here. Oh, wow. Okay, so our opponent's not... This isn't his game. Like, it's pretty unlucky, I'm not gonna lie. My opponent hasn't checked a lot of triggers on offense, although he has checked quite a few defensive ones. Alright, so we have 2 counterblasts to go in with Curiel, but what does that buy us, though? Because I would rather just use Armoros to +1. So I think we're gonna skip this turn. I mean, the ride skip. I could unflip with the no-seal. So I could probably call... Or I could call down my Sunny Smile Angel and put it back in. But the problem is I have to kill his interceptors. So, what can I get out? I can get the Medical Gunner, but I don't really need to do that right now. I think I'm just going to call this down and send it back. Alright, we're gonna draw. Oh, I drew my heal. Ooh, I kind of wanted that. Alright, let's go ahead and send my heal trigger back. We're at 7 cards in hand. We're gonna be at 8 because we're gonna draw off of that heal, so I guess I didn't really need to send it back. But maybe we'll draw PG. Okay, we draw an Interceptor, that's good. But now we're kind of high on hand, because this is the reason why I feel like you don't need 9 draw in Angel Feathers. Anytime you have a card like Armoros, and you don't have a lot of other options besides, you know, in this case, the Pegasus and the No-Seals, you can afford to run max copy of these, and then in that scenario, you don't need to run that many draw. So what's he gonna do here? Ooh, okay, so he's gonna swing 3 attacks on my Vanguard, and I only have 1 PG, so... Ooh, we could lose here. We're gonna have to 6 damage heal. See, this is how Narukami can just come out of nowhere and just escape with the win like that. So now I'm actually glad I put that Sunny Smile Angel back when I did. So we have 3 heals in there on 13 cards, but we're gonna have to get one of those to win. Oh wow, that's unfortunate. Oh man. Really interesting. My opponent didn't even use Vermilion or anything. He had to use those the Djinn cards with the Desert Gunners and managed to win that way. Wow. All right, let's try some Granblue. I want to try Granblue. So I've kind of combined the original deck that I thought was really good, where it was Spirit Exceed, with the no mill Granblue. So I still don't have Ruin Shade. I might put Ruin Shade back in because that was the deck that I did have the most success with. But I still want to try this guy as well as the Cutlass. So if I do make a change, it'll be to drop this for Ruin Shade. But I feel like Narukami is really, really strong. And it's pretty easy to build the deck too, right? Like you saw that guy didn't even use any of the triple Rs. As long as you have the Desert Gunners, I feel like as long as you have the Desert Gunners, you can make the deck work.
Stand up! Vanguard!
Oh wow, this guy also goes with the Night Spirit. Alright, I guess we're gonna put this here because I'm gonna ride the Captain or Navigator Silver as the second Vanguard, or as the turn 2. But the only problem is I don't think I'm going to have enough targets to use. So I don't know, maybe we will go Night Mist. But Night Mist is something that you want to go in the drop zone, so I probably am going to use it as a rear guard. He goes into Samurai, which means he's guaranteed an 11k Vanguard if he rides up to Spirit Exceed. Okay, now we need a grade 1 or grade 2. Oh, we got that. Okay. So now what I want to do is, well, I guess we're going to want this in the drop zone. So we're going to ride up to him. He won't be able to do anything though because we don't have enough targets. So we're going to go like this. Hold up. Cuz that 7-5 no, so neither one of these hit over a defensive. This can swing 16 with the trigger, so I'd rather do that. Probably shouldn't even call him down. Yeah, I probably should not have called him down. That was a misplay. Because I won't have the... Yeah, I don't have the right setup. I mean, I would have to check power to him, so I guess it was worth it, but... The problem is we run criticals, so in that scenario you didn't really need him. Because if it's either you hit the critical or you don't. Alright, now he's going to need a Chappie. This is going to be interesting. Oh, okay, that's what he was going to do. That's if we heal the 1 in the damage, though. You can't really rely on that. It won't show up until... It may not even show up until later. Did this guy check a draw? How did he have so many cards? Oh, he drew one off of the... Nice. He didn't check any triggers. How does he have that many cards in his hand? Oh, he went second. That's still... Huh. I'm not sure if... Well, I guess he didn't have anything else to call down? Okay. This is an interesting build. I haven't seen anybody running Bass Kirk, especially as a stand trigger, double stand. See, I don't know about that. I tested stands on stream before, and you need to have a lot of board presence for them to actually be good. And sometimes Granblue doesn't have good board presence because they have to retire their boosters to get their interceptors. Yeah, he drew off of the Exceed, but he didn't hit any triggers, though, in the beginning. Okay, unfortunately, man, we're going to have to ride up to the 10k. So ours is only 10, but I can make it 14. But I'm probably going to do this. Let me think. We don't need the Samurai Spirit right now. What I do need in there is a Night Mist, so I can have him at 11. And then we'll do this, and then I guess I can't use that yet. So this is gonna be weird. The columns here don't make any sense, but we'll just do this. Because I should have called Thanatos down before I called this down. Alright, well, whatever. Let's just see what happens. Alright, get that. put it here so we have something that's guaranteed to hit if we don't hit any triggers.
Vanguard にアタック。ファーストチェック。セカンドチェック。
Okay, well at least we have something that can push.
Vanguard にアタック。ダメージチェック。
Okay, so he has 2 Night Mist and 1 in the damage, just like me. I got one here, but this one will be in the damage. Yeah, I can tell this deck to me just seems like the old Granblue deck. Yeah, okay, he runs stand triggers. Okay, that heal is actually really good. We're gonna need that. But the thing is, the nice thing about this is it's 14 with Chappie. That's already 20. Ooh, that's a really good top deck, but we didn't get it. This guy is kind of useful. But I'm probably gonna have to sacrifice him for Night Mist. Actually, no, we don't really need. Well, we're gonna sacrifice him for Night Mist. And I guess what I'll do is just call this here, because I don't want to sacrifice Chappie just yet, just in case we hit a draw. The problem with Silver is he requires you to have a full field for him to draw on the Vanguard hit. So it's very situational, so that's why I might cut him and go back to Ruin Shade, but I'll keep Dancing Cutlass in the deck. Okay, that's our last heal because we just drew the other one. That's his third heal as well. Okay, so he does have some new cards, but I guess he did not. I don't know. Judging by the deck, he's got a bunch of the Undead Dragon as the heal. He has Baskirk as a stand. He has Cositus as a draw. This is a draw. He goes in with this. That just means that I'm going to ignore it and just push to his Vanguard. Actually, we'll be able to get an extra attack with this. Oh, no, we won't, because I needed another booster. We'll have to sacrifice Thanatos off. Okay, that's actually huge. That this interceptor is what I needed. Okay, this goes here to kill Night Mist. This will swing in to the Vanguard. The problem is there's like no Vanguard boosters. And then we'll revive Night Mist to kill off what's his name? That guy over there, the wait, get him. Yeah, get him. Because we need 2 interceptors. Alright, now all we do is we just high roll to the Vanguard, and then Night Mist will just kill the Spirit Exceed. Because we run crits. Okay, we got double draw. And then we take this away so he can't sacrifice it. He'll have to sacrifice like Chappies or something, or call some stuff down. So we have two criticals. All we have left are 2 crits. We have a Swordmaster and a Spirit Exceed. Oh wow, he can actually do the Mega Blast. Whoa, I wasn't expecting this guy to have the Mega Blast. Okay, that's interesting. That's pretty cool, actually. I was not expecting to see that. That just came out of nowhere. That is interesting. That makes me now want to rethink considering Bass Kirk, because Bass Kirk, the only thing about that is then you can't really self-revive Night Mist that much. And I like this choice of units too. He chose the big grade 2s that are harder to run over. Because now, well, I mean, we have Night Mist, so it doesn't really make that much of a difference, but we're still going to only get one swing to his Vanguard. He did soul charge a Sentinel, but I bet he's got multiple ones. This guy knows what he's doing. This deck is actually pretty well built. I'm thinking of actually going back to see. Okay, this is a really good top deck, but I'm thinking of going to what's his name now? Okay, so we have this to run over the ghost ship. Now all I need is this to draw me something like a PG. Okay, I mean that's okay, I guess. And then Petro. Honestly, yeah, just do this. We have criticals, but I'm pretty sure he's got a Sentinel ready. I'm pretty sure he's got one. Okay. Now the thing is, he's out of stands because he only has 4 stands, so I don't have to worry about the stand play. He only got 1 heal left unless it's in his hand, and he only has 1 counterblast for his Night Mist. So it'll be interesting to see what he does. Ooh, he still starts a PG. See, that's the reason why I don't like Bass Kirk and Ruin Shade, for the same reason. He just soul charges PG, so that's good to know because that means he's out 3. That means at most he only has 1 in his hand. Oh, he's going to need to get another interceptor. Otherwise, if I get 2 attacks to his Vanguard, it will be over. Because I know he only has at most 1 PG. Oh, he's going to try to end it with this. He needs to, at the very least, call Night Mist with that final counterblast. Yeah, so he's going to do that. Now, if he hits his heal, though, we have only 1 crit left in the deck. So this turned into be a really close game. I bet he has his PG. He only has 5 cards left in the whole deck. Alright, I bet he has the heal in his hand, but he only got 5 cards left. I could be wrong, but he only has 1 heal left. I only have 1 crit left. And he probably has that PG in his hand. I wish I would have drawn into the PG. Okay, here we go. Now what we need to do is sacrifice Chappie to get Night Mist here. Okay, yeah, the others are in there. And then we're gonna call this. Sacrifice it for the other one. Form another column here. Well, it won't matter because the Vanguard will have to swing last because you run crits. So this is gonna be it. Just try to psych him out that I have a PG in hand. Alright, this is it. Can I hit my crit? No. Can he 6 damage heal? Oh, man. Oh, he has silver in his deck, too. Man, I want to see that guy's deck list. He has silver in the deck, too. And I noticed he didn't play any Ruin Shades, either. That was very interesting. Stands, Bass Kirk, a bunch of things that I wasn't expecting. He also even had Dancing Cutlass in there. I really would like to see that guy's deck list. That was a really good game, though. I had no idea who was gonna win. I had a feeling that he was gonna win when I was at like 5 damage with the 2 PGs, and I didn't really I was afraid. Okay, if I keep drawing grade 3s, it's not the end of the world because I can sacrifice them for Night Mist. But yeah, overall that was interesting. I do believe though that like running Night Spirit as the starter is still the best starter. Overall, I've seen a lot of people running the Captain Night Kid, but Captain Night Kid sometimes can still not get you the card you need in the drop zone, because there were at least like 2 or 3 games that I played where he just didn't get me the cards that I needed to throw away. Like, I don't know. But the cool thing about Granblue is there's so many different ways to build that deck. I feel like there's a lot of different options with building Granblue. A lot of different builds that are all valid or all relevant. Yeah, I've seen a lot of guys running like 3 Cutlass. A lot of people trying this guy just because they don't like Ruin Shade. Especially if you're going to run Bass Kirk. That guy was running Bass Kirk. I feel like Ruin Shade and Bass Kirk together in the same deck is not a good idea or not a good combination. Spirit Exceed seems really good. Yeah, I'm thinking it's hard for me to decide, right? Because like part of me wants to run 3 Samurai Spirit just for the more consistent 11k body of Spirit Exceed, but at the same time I do like having the 1 Dandy guy just because he's an 8k, you know, with him and what, Cositis and Dandy Guy is 23k down the center on the limit break skill, so that can hit the cross ride number against overlords and that kind of thing. I don't want to cut Dancing Cutlass below 2 because this card is just super good. You just top deck this card plus a card to your hand and just go in. They don't have a good way of dealing 2 damage. I mean, that's the reason why I run critical triggers. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I tried stands because Thanatos makes you kind of think that stands would be good. The same way that Hermiel in Angel Feather seems like stands are good. But the problem is, unlike Angel Feathers, Granblue cannot build... It can't build powerful rearguard columns. Even with the trigger, it can't build powerful columns. That was the biggest problem I ran into when I was trying to run stands. The other problem is that sometimes you have to sacrifice your boosters to bring up Night Mist because you need those intercepts to attack. Right? You need that 11k attacker. So that was the other problem where like stands, when you have to do the Night Mist thing and sacrifice off a Chappie, you know, then now you run into a scenario where you can't really benefit much from a stand. So that's why stances didn't work. So I feel like critical triggers are just better overall. They push damage fast in the early game, and the thing with Granblue is you kind of want to be aggressive when you play this deck. Basically, when you have decks that say when this unit's attack hits a Vanguard, at first you might think, okay, we need to run 9 draw because when rearguards have to hit Vanguard, that means that your Vanguard has to kill the Interceptor. And that's true, but the problem is you need to push damage. And the only way that Granblue can do that is by running a mix of crits and draws or stands and draws. And I don't know, I just feel like critical triggers are just easier to work with overall when you use Granblue. So I just stuck with them. I mean, I guess what I would do here is if I drop Dandy Guy, because I'm thinking of dropping Dandy Guy and putting the 3rd Samurai. If I do that, then I'll drop this to 1, and I'll bump Spirit Exceed up to 4. Because that's essentially the deck list that I had originally. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I keep Dandy Guy, or should I just take him out? Should we go 3 Samurai, and then 4 Spirit Exceed? Because that would be like the one thing I would change. I feel like if I do a different build... What, this build or the other build? 3 Samurai or 2 Samurai? Take him out? Okay. He didn't really do much last game. I mean, I rode him as the turn 1 ride. That was it. Then he was gone. He got soul blasted at some point in the game. Yeah, because... Alright, then we have to take out the Swordmaster. I mean, I could keep the Swordmaster at 2, though. Because now, how does that look? 3 Samurai, 2 Cutlass, 4 Chappie. Chappie is just way too important because we're not running the grade 1 for the Cocytus thing. This card is just so much more valuable than the grade 1 Cocytus, the skeleton thing. If you run Cutlass, then no Baskirk. Yeah. You know, well, you know what, though? The guy who we fought against just now, he had Dancing Cutlass. And he had Baskirk. And he had Silver. I'm thinking of taking Silver out, though. Silver requires you to commit a lot of pieces on the board early. But he does help a lot, though. Now, the alternative would be to run Ruin Shade or maybe this. One thing, I don't like the 7k because if you ride this as the Vanguard, the only good thing about riding him as the Vanguard is you don't have to fill the entire field up because you can leave one open spot, but it still requires you to commit a whole bunch of cards, which I have done in a couple of games. But it's... If you're not able to guarantee that draw, then it's like, no. Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't run that many of him. That's why I wouldn't run more than 2 of this. I mean, Ghost Ship. Ghost Ship is good. I think at 1, because if you use Chappie to throw this away, and Cocytus is either superior ridden from the drop zone, this could be a really good target for Chappie. I feel like this is actually pretty good. This is... I don't know. I feel like this is a really good 1 of. Maybe 2 of, but I think 2 of is kind of bad because if you have to... Like, in the scenario with my opponent, remember? He had to ride the Ghost Ship, and then he couldn't... No, he was able to... No, he was able to use it because he did like a Chappie... He threw away Night Mist, then he called Night Mist, and then the thing lost the resist. So as long as you're able to do that, I think the Ghost Ship might actually be another card worth testing out. It gives you another 11k attacker without having to run Ruin Shade. And maybe, like, that guy was running these things. I mean, that was pretty hilarious. But maybe 4 of this, so you get the maximum consistency for the Cocytus. Something like this. See, Granblue's that weird deck that can run like 1 of something, and it still works. Because of Chappie the Ghosty, you can like filter the deck in such a way that you will have that card ready when you need it, because it's just gonna go in the drop zone. Yeah, I know that is pretty hilarious. I don't know why you don't like Cocytus. Cocytus is good. With Limit Break, you can hit over cross rides without a booster. Now, it would be nice if it was 11k, but if it was 11k, then it would be super good with that plus 5k on attack. That would be like a 16k Limit Break with no booster. I think if he was 11k, we would definitely see a lot more Granblue. You could run a 1 of Spirit Exceed. Yeah, but the thing is... If I only run 1 Spirit Exceed, then... If I only run 1 Spirit Exceed, then we're going to run Captain Night Kid as the starter. Because this guy turns your Spirit Exceed into a Palamedes. And I like the idea of having a Palamedes. For Night Mist would be one version. I think you guys are talking about like multiple different things. I'm thinking, okay, if we run 1 Spirit Exceed, then I'm gonna drop this for Captain Night Kid. The thing about this is so good at making Thanatos 13k so he can swing in without a booster. Essentially, it turns him into a skydiver. And he's better than Skydiver in that regard, because then you don't have to minus from your hand to continue your attacks. You basically are plussing for free from the drop. So you're basically... Thanatos turns into like a semi-restanding rear guard when you think about it, because he slams into the Vanguard. Then he goes away and he can call anything. The nice thing about him is you can call a Dancing Cutlass from the drop zone, +1 off of that if you need a booster on the other side standing column. You know, stuff like that if they have no interceptor. Or if you're rushing them early and you superior ride Spirit Exceed or Cositis and you have Thanatos in your hand, you can then use Thanatos while they're at grade 2 to swing in without a booster. I mean, stuff like that. I do like for Spirit Exceed. Spirit Exceed has shown me like how the full potential of the deck with Spirit Exceed. This guy is good against MLB, and pretty much nothing else. Like, it's good at hitting 11k Vanguards. But this guy is basically Palamedes when you have Night Spirit in the soul. So, I mean, it can hit Cross Ride. This guy can't hit a Cross Ride. The grade 1 is so limited. Yeah, I mean, but you can still do some crazy stuff with the grade 1 lineup. Like, look at, here was another deck that I was trying out. See, look at that. This one has Monster Frank. This one has the 1 Samurai. Doesn't even have Spirit Exceed. I guess, no, yeah, you wouldn't even run Spirit Exceed. If you don't run Night Spirit as a starter, then you don't really need to run Spirit Exceed. Unfortunately, Spirit Exceed is one of those cards where it's like, you need all the pieces, otherwise it's not worth running at all. If you don't have the starter, then he's not a Palamedes. If you don't have the Samurai at like 3 or 4 copies, then he's useless, because he's not going to be 11k. Well, here's the thing though, if you go Night Kid, you only need 3 Chappie, because, you could still run 4 Chappie, but if you go Night Kid is effectively like another Chappie. So with Night Kid plus the 3 Chappies, it's still like having almost like 4 Chappies. Now granted, he's not as good as Chappie, but he doesn't use any Counterblast to do the skill. He goes in the soul for Dancing Cutlass, so you can do Dancing Cutlass as early as turn 2. You know, there's plays that you can do with Night Kid. He guarantees you have a Chappie without having to have one in your opening hand or banking on drawing into one. So that's why Night Kid is pretty good. But the thing is with Night Kid, if you use Night Kid, you don't need to run Spirit Exceed. That would be a completely different build. In fact, Night Kid, well, I mean, you can see the build that I was toying with over here. This is the one that I was trying previously, and it just wasn't... I was just running into a lot of bad matchups. That was all, but it was... I mean, it's okay. I mean, it could even drop this guy to 1 and put in... I don't know, another one of these? Something like that. It just doesn't have Spirit Exceed, so there's no 11k Vanguard. Here, let's just go... Okay, we made the change where we put 4 Spirit Exceed, so now we're gonna try... Let's try it again with a 3 Samurai. Let's try the 1 Ghost Ship, see how that goes. One thing I will change, though... Do I want to run the 10k? Do I want Commodore Blue Blood? That's the only thing I'm thinking of. I guess we don't need him. We have the Ghost Ship at 1, so I guess I don't need him. Although he is kind of nice. He doesn't have the restraint. Let's just try this build. That's the cool thing about Granblue. You can get away with like random builds. This is gonna be either Blau or a Perfect Riser. It's always one or the other. I've never faced anyone playing Beast Deities. I think there was like one guy playing Beast Deities. Okay, unfortunately, this is not what you want to see in the opening hand, because you can't really do anything with it. This is good, because then it ensures 11k. This is also pretty... No, you don't really need that. So I'm going to send those 2 back. Okay, Chappie's a lot better top deck than those guys.
Vanguard.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry about that. We'll look at that. You guys need to remind me when we're done with the match. Otherwise, I might forget again. Alright, so we go Samurai, because he's good. And then... I guess I'll leave the middle with this for now. And then I can use Chappie later on. Don't need to do him right now. We could even Superior Ride into Knights or Spirit Exceed with this setup. What do you guys think? Should I go for Spirit Exceed or should I go for Crusadus? We damage checked the Dancing Colors, so we have one other one just in case. So here's the thing, we gotta decide. Are we gonna go... Okay, let's go Spirit Exceed. The reason why we're gonna go Spirit Exceed is because we drew Thanatos and we have one Counter Blast open. Alright, check this out. We're gonna go throw him in there. Actually get the one rare in there. Alright, we're gonna draw off of his effect as well. Oh wait. It's yeah, it's over here. Alright, we're gonna do it. Draw. Oh, that's 2 crits out. It's a little unfortunate, but that's okay. I don't have anything in the drop zone though, but we will because of Chappie. Throw. Petro. Wait, hold up. 7? That's 15? Oh, I want 17. I can't get 17 though. Oh no, get the ghost ship. Yeah, the ghost ship. Check this out. The ghost ship's gonna be a 17 with Chappie. Yeah. And then I can put this. Yeah. Okay. Oh man. The plays. Alright, now we swing. This is already 20. So if he checks a defensive, it's just gonna be 1 to pass. So now we'll just ghost ship into him and we run crits. Oh wow. Alright, if we get a crit, that'll be pretty hilarious. But we took 2 out of the 5. And we get Crusadus. Crusadus is gonna go in there. This guy's all like, nice, man. Wow, three damage, and the guys and my opponent is at grade 1. This is the reason why Spirit Exceed is still good. Oh, unfortunate for him, it whiffed, and that was an SP season riser too. Wow. Okay, but he whiffed the first time. If at first you don't succeed, try and try again. There he goes again. There's perfect riser. He's like, bring me out, bring me. It's like, no. I don't know why he left that 7K in the front row like that. I think he should have pulled that back. That might have been a misplay. Okay, there's a PG number 1. We saw it go there. And this is the strength of the 11K. Because that was only 10 to my 11. Do you see that? Do you see that, boys? This is the reason why Spirit Exceed is good. Alright, so we got Soul Blast 4 for Dancing Cutlass. But, unfortunately, I gotta make sure. No, that's gonna blow out the thing. So, but, I kind of want to draw a card here. But I will, not yet. This is still 20k column. So we'll kill that boy over there, and then we'll bring our Palamute. No, not yet. I could bring the Samurai. We don't have Night Mist yet. Alright, just bring the Palamutes out. Oh wow, 2 PGs to the bottom of the deck. Good thing for us, he's not checking any draw triggers. I like that. Alright, we're gonna take some damage here because we didn't have a Night Mist ready. So we got one Interceptor that he's gonna run over, so he's gonna put me... He's gonna go... Wait, what? He needs to absorb those. Oh, that's pretty nice what he's doing right there. That's cool. Because now he's gonna absorb those. And then now he's got the crit. So he's going to... He needs to call something to run over the 9k. Oh, he's gonna do the Lion Heat. He's gonna do the Lion Heat combo. Check this out. He's gonna go Lion Heat, stand that boy, stand Ultimate Cosmo Lord up. Yes, I checked the draw because he would have put me at 3 if I didn't, and then I'd be at 5. So now Perfect Riser is gonna come in. That's his second PG. That's his third PG. So that's 3 that he doesn't have because the first drive check didn't have one. So at most he has 1 PG and he has no interceptors, which means now we're just gonna get 3 attacks to the Vanguard. Now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use Dancing Cutlass here. Even though this is an 11k Vanguard, I need that extra card in hand because I could draw a PG. Let's see. So we need... Okay, we can form 16 over here. So actually, you know what? Oh, I really kind of want to use that, but we'll hold off on it for now. Because we'll form 16 here. And this will be the first attack. Now, he could check defensives here. Ooh, wow, okay. Now, he's either got the PG or he doesn't. Now, hold up. So this is 16. This is... I want to swing this first, just in case I check a crit, and he doesn't have a PG. Because we saw 3 of them so far. That was my other one. See, he didn't have one. So, okay, wow. That was the power of the Granblue going aggressive. Like I said earlier, you go aggressive. You can afford to go aggressive early, and the nice thing about Spirit Exceed is he can enable you to do that a whole turn faster. And I feel like with Spirit Exceed, you want to run critical triggers just to high roll that off chance that you check a critical on that early twin drive. Same argument can be said for 9 crit Ezel or Turbo Ezel. Yeah, that guy was pretty far up there too, because he gave me more than the typical 30 points. I got like 6 extra points out of that guy. Alright, you guys wanted to see the Bermuda deck, so I'm going to show that here. I almost forgot about it again, but I was thinking I have to go back to check something, and then I remember what it was. Let's see. Okay, so there's two Bermuda decks. There's the Riviere, and then there's the Reindeer Technical, and then there's the Riviere / Pacifica deck. So this is the Riviere one. And then it doesn't really do a whole lot in the current meta. This is definitely the bottom. It's at the bottom of the tier list, I would say, in terms of what it can generate a lot of cards, especially with the ride chain. But if you're running 9 draw Bermuda, you're doing it wrong because the deck has so much inherent draw power. The Riviere ride chain draws you cards. The Pearl Sisters combo draws you cards. If you bounce Kareen, it draws you cards. Although the only time you're gonna ever be able to pull this card off in this deck is if you use it with this card's effect. But you have a lot of draw and advantage. So this is one of the 2 decks. This is probably the weaker one of the 2, I would say. And of course the Pacifica, I still need to craft one more, which I've slowly been crafting these. Because if you guys remember, I pulled no Pacifica, and I had 0 Pacifica and 0 Riviere on day 1 when these cards came out. So I have slowly crafted the only things that I've ever had to craft up until Asia Circuit has been Bermuda Triangle cards, with the one exception being Pale Moon and I guess Dark Irregulars. So these are the cards that I've had to craft. All these Pacificas and Rivieres were mostly crafted, except for maybe one Pacifica that I pulled randomly, during the MLB season, when it first came out. And then I guess I pulled no, I think I pulled 2 Rivieres during the MLB season. Somewhere in there, I pulled 2 Rivieres. So I've only had to craft like 2 Rivieres, and I've crafted these 2 Pacificas. So I've slowly been working on crafting that other Pacifica. Now for the other deck, which I think is much, much better. So if you actually want to play Bermuda, Riviera with Reindeer is one deck is good. You can mix them, and a lot of people do that mainly because Riviera is very lackluster in terms of what it does. I mean, you can benefit from the ride chain to some extent, but I would not mix them. I mean, if you want to run Reindeer with this deck, you can, but you would have to make a couple changes, and I'll show you what to change. So it's pretty simple, actually. Just take out Pacifica. The reason why Pacifica works with Riviera is because Riviera doesn't use any counterblast, and if you look at the deck, nothing in the deck uses counterblast except for Super Idol Serum. She's the only one, and she's only like counterblast 1, and you'll only ever have to use this. Like, you use this as a Palamedes. It's basically a Metal Droid clone. So you'll use it randomly if you need to hit into an 11k Vanguard and you don't have another way to do it. So, other than that, nothing else uses Counterblast. And that's the reason why Pacifica works with Riviera, because you can just, like, if you don't have Riviera early, you just ride Pacifica and then you can just do her Mega Blast later on. The other thing, too, is if you have a bunch of Soul from the Riviera ride chain plus the... well, I think you'd have to run a few other cards. You'd probably have to run like a Feluca or something. Hey, Ramis, thanks for the sub. Much appreciated. But I was going to say, you have to run something that can Soul Charge. So if you're not sitting on Pacifica, you're going to have a hard time using her skill. Because the nice thing about Pacifica is you can, like with all Mega Blasts, you can slam into the Vanguard as a rear guard and still get the skill off. So like you could do stuff like, for instance, if say Riviera is the Vanguard and Pacifica is the rear guard, and they have one interceptor, or maybe they have 2 interceptors. If they have 2 interceptors, it doesn't matter. So what you do is Riviera slams into the first interceptor, and the thing about Riviera is she doesn't have to hit the Vanguard to do her Persona Blast. So then she can do the Persona Blast to power up the other 2 columns, right? So it's kind of like Soul Saber. So if you do that, then if they have 1 interceptor, you may not even have to do that, but you still could do that, because you could power up like the back row and then use Pacifica to hit the Vanguard and then enable 2 more attacks, because you'll call like a bunch of more units to get 2 more attacks, and then you'll have the powered up rear guards from Riviera's Persona Blast. So that's the reason why Pacifica and Riviera have some synergy there. They actually work well together, and that's the reason why the 2 are meant to be played in the same deck. Now, but if you don't have Pacifica, you can just throw in Reindeer. You can just throw your Reindeers in, and I think the only thing you would have to do is you'd have to put in some form of Girls Rock Rio. Like, you'd have to take out like Flute, put in Rio, maybe like 3 Rio, something like that. You'd have to do this. You have to make the deck like this, because Reindeer's build is completely different, and I'll show you guys the Reindeer deck now. Reindeer is meant to work with a completely different set of rear guards, or grade 3s. So the Reindeer deck looks like this. So with Reindeer, you need to run Girls Rock Rio and Rainbow Light Kareen. These 2 cards are meant to work with Reindeer, because Reindeer can bounce them up, and then you get their effect when they're bounced to the hand, Counterblast 1 Soul Charge and draw a card. And then usually what I like to do is I tech in 1 Pacifica, but I took it out. But you could tech in 1 Pacifica, because with all the Soul Charging off of Kareen and Girls Rock Rio, you could potentially also do the Mega Blast, but the reason why it's not necessary is because most of the time you will not have the Counter Blast, because Girls Rock Rio and Kareen use Counter Blast 1, and there's no way to countercharge. That's the reason why Pacifica doesn't really fit properly with a good Reindeer deck. So that's the reason why you don't mix them. So like I was saying earlier, Pacifica can use the counterblast from the Riviere build, because Riviere and all the other cards don't use counterblast, but Reindeer, because of her support cards in the form of Rio and Kareen, having a counterblast 1 every time you use their skill, and there's no way to countercharge, you can't really fit Pacifica in the deck. So that's the reason why we run 1 top auto Flores instead of Pacifica, because you'll, like, if you throw Pacifica in at 1, it's like, why? I mean, it's not really going to do anything. In fact, a better choice rather than Flores might even be another card called, where is she at? Lena, Princess Lena. You can run her as a 1 of in Reindeer, because Reindeer's deck is all about the bounce mechanic, and then stuff happens. It's like, send stuff up and stuff happens. That's basically the Reindeer style of play. The Pacifica and the Riviere deck is basically a typical beatdown deck. It's like a Soul Saver. It's like a Royal Paladin. Well, not really Royal Paladin. It's like, it's a deck that has really good draw power, and it can go more aggro with its columns because of the Persona Blast from Riviere, and because Pacifica, if the Mega Blast can enable extra attacks. So that deck is more of like an aggro, aggressive, like, typical beatdown deck. I don't know what else to call it. And then this deck is more of a technical, big brain, but highly reliant on triggers. It's more of a high roll deck, but it's definitely more fun to play overall, because it has more strategy. There's more things you have to do, although the Pacifica play sometimes can be very strategic in terms of when to use it, like the setup, how to calculate what turn you'll be able to use it, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, but this deck is my favorite one, because Reindeer has always been my favorite, even from, like, OG Vanguard. Reindeer was, and if you guys have heard me say this in previous streams where I talk about Bermuda Triangle, Reindeer was one of the first decks that I built when I got into Vanguard. I first started with a hodgepodge, like, CEO, OTT deck. All the deck profiles are on my channel from, like, years ago. But Reindeer was one of the first decks that I built because it was so dirt cheap. Because the original Reindeer was a common, Kareen is a common, Girls Rock Rio is like a double R in the real Vanguard. So I built that deck a long time ago, and I had a lot of success with it. It was dirt cheap. So that's the reason why I understand this deck real well compared to the other one. Yeah, oh yeah. The Pearl Sisters are required for both decks to be competitive. Without the Pearl Sisters, your deck will have a very hard time keeping up with the current meta, unfortunately. I mean, the only good thing you could substitute, like, okay, let's make a deck that doesn't have the Pearl Sisters, because not everybody has them. So, if you're running Reindeer, assuming you have Reindeer, you can still make a Bermuda deck. It just won't be as good overall. So, but you'd still run this as a start. She's the best starter, and again, like I was saying earlier, Reindeer, that style of play is all about bouncing the rear guards. And this card has the return one of the rear guards to hand, so you want these kind of effects. So that's the natural first Vanguard, and then you obviously 4 PGs. And then if you don't have this, then, or if you don't have the grade 2 but you have this, you don't run this. You run Sedna at 4, and then you run Blazer Idols, and then you run 2 of this. Then you probably run, what does this do? Okay, that's not really needed. I would say run Feluca, Feluca at 1. And then grade 2, if you don't have Pearl Sister, then you gotta run Flute, Rio, 4 of, and then 4 of this, and then 3 of this. Or, well, probably 2 of this and 1 more Flute. Yeah, probably 1 more Flute. You could also run Melville. I mean, Melville is kind of good, but the problem with her is that your turn 2 ride, you're better off riding the 10k base power instead of Melville. Melville's okay though. It's decent, but I would rather. Here's my thing: if I'm going to run so many 8k bodies like this and this and this, I might as well just skip the 9k altogether and just have 10. Because this is going to be an 11k attacker, but it's 8k body. In fact, I have been saying time and time again, this should be a 9k body that gains 2k power. Make it 9 that gains 2. So it's a better defender, and it's still... It doesn't become overpowered. It's not like it can hit MLB without a booster. So I don't see why this is not a 9k that gains 2 instead of an 8k that gains 3. I just think that's dumb. Because, well, okay, I guess it's kind of like Night Mist when you think about it. So, whatever. But you need Flute because Flute is your 11k grade 2 attacker. You need this because you have nothing better to run. You need Rio because you're building a reindeer deck and you don't have the Pearl Sisters. And even if you had the Pearl Sisters, you would still run this because this card is meant to enable reindeer to draw you cards so you don't have to run 9 draw and you can run critical triggers. So that's a very important card. A lot of people sleep on this. They don't know that this is that good, but it really, really is. And then obviously 4 reindeer. Run whichever one you have. I just run this because I finished in top 1000, and I want to run this one because it's the coolest one. It's got all the hearts and stuff. This is the waifu one. You got to run it if you have it. And then Kareen at 4 because this is your other Girls Rock Rio. This is your heal trigger because it doesn't have... remember my philosophy? If it doesn't have a Vanguard effect, it's the heal trigger. This doesn't have a Vanguard effect. Alright, and then one of this. Actually, let me think. So yeah, one of that. What else? Oh yeah, and then of course this. Because this can hit cross-ride. This is Palamedes. You gotta have Palamedes. Alright, so it's that, and then 5 crit, 4 draw. And you can run, if you want Reindeer to be the draw, make her the draw, but then you're gonna have to do, something like this. I would rather her be the crit, because if she's in the opening hand, I'm keeping a draw in the deck. So I would do it like this. And that would be the lineup. So 1 Princess Lena. If you don't have 4 reindeer, substitute each missing reindeer with a Princess Lena. That's all you gotta do. And this deck will work without the Pearl Scissors Pearl Out. The only thing about it is you won't have as much draw power. But I still feel that you still have decent draw. You still have this. You still have, obviously, your draw. This draws. This draws. Because the thing about Reindeer is she basically gets you extra attacks. And you want to run critical triggers in Reindeer for the same reason if you were playing, like, old school Novas with Asura Kaiser as your main Vanguard. You would prefer Asura Kaiser to have critical triggers as opposed to stand triggers, because why would you check a stand just to stand 2 things? Okay, it's like, yeah, I stood a column, but why not just check a critical and stand up your... Assuming your booster is still standing up, why not just check a critical, stand your grade 2 in the front row, and then just crit them, and then if they... You know, if they don't check a defensive trigger, then... Because you're going to put power on that standing regard anyway. I mean... You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why you run crits. You don't run stands in here. Stands don't work with Reindeer. A lot of people say to run stands with Reindeer, but it doesn't make any sense because you're going to get another attack anyway. Because the way this deck works, you swing... Like, you kill their interceptors with your interceptors, and then Reindeer swings to their Vanguard, and then if she checks a trigger, let's say it's a critical. Can you show us Bermuda Triangle in action? Okay. Alright. Yeah, it's better if I just show you guys. Oh wait, we got something here. Oh, we got the stamina. Alright, let's do the character fights and then I'll show you guys the deck. We are working on Shamshiel, so we need one of these. And on double drops, you never do normal. In fact, I never spam normal unless we're on double drops for normal. I wish they would make the character drops mandatory or like guaranteed, as opposed to random chance. And I also want that Vermilion, so I kind of want to go for this. So we're going to go for this. Because there's no guarantee that we're going to get him next season. They might just skip over him. I can see them. I can totally see them doing that. Alright. Okay, let's play some Bermuda Triangle. I haven't played Bermuda Triangle in like a month. Alright, I'll show you guys. Here we go. Anytime now. Okay. I was afraid it was going to time out or something. Oh, we got Narukami. Okay. Now ranked is fun. Maybe for people who don't have anything else to do. Alright, so... You send the heals back, and then I guess this is okay. Okay. This is a decent hand. So now, obviously we're just going to ride the grade 1, unless we draw into a different grade 1. Because you kind of want to use that to draw. Because now, the awkward thing here is he can retire my starter. So... but it's okay. Like, if he wants to retire it, then he can. Because I'll just use my Pearl Sisters to bounce the Rio Sister up anyway. The reason why you don't need to deny Saishin, because there's no guarantee that he'll retire your starter. He might not care that you have the starter. He might just want... There might be a better grade 1 that he wants to destroy later on. So... There's no guarantee that he's going to retire it, so there's no reason to deny him damage. It's not like MLB, where they need pieces. He doesn't really need to search any pieces. The other thing, too, about this deck, you don't want to deny them damage, because you run critical triggers. When you run critical triggers, you don't want to not give them damage, because if they attack you... That damage check might be a critical trigger that you could have used against them previously. So that's why when I was climbing rank with Ezel, with Turbo Ezel with 9 criticals, I never hold back from attacking whatever my opponent is, whether it's Saishin or you know, MLB. I don't care, because it's like you want to try to get those criticals out. Alright, we check a draw. We're into another draw, so let's see. He can still hit, though. That's the only bad thing about this being a 15k. So he might go for Saishin here. We'll see. Wow, so that column over there can hit... But unless I check another trigger, which is kind of unlikely. Yeah, I was thinking it was unlikely because we drew into one. Alright, so he's going to go ahead and kill it off. I mean, it's pretty decent play to do that, because he knows that this card can bounce this card, and I can draw off of that. Ooh, losing a PG, that's unfortunate. There's no way to get that back, unlike Angel Feathers. And he called a grade 1 down, which we kind of want to kill that off. So now we're going to ride up into this. And I don't have a booster, so I can't hit that. But we can if we call a bunch of grade 2s down. But I'm going to high roll into that because we run crits. So now what I'll do is I'll probably go this, that, and then we'll call this here. And then we'll call... Oh, I gotta call another one? Oh, wow, that's kind of unfortunate. So I guess what I'll do is I'll keep... I have Kareen, so I can call this down. If he wants to retire that with his Berserk Dragon clone, that's fine. Alright, then now we just swing in. And we got it, so that's good. So power trip. The reason why you want to high roll it rather than go in with flute, because we need to bounce one of the Rios up. So we're gonna bounce one of these, and now we're gonna activate Rio's effect to draw another card. So we're gonna plus again. All right, soul charging the heal was a little unfortunate, but that's okay. And then this kills that. Yeah, it was requested. People wanted to see it. They wanted to see the reindeer deck. But the deck is strange because you have to do weird stuff like call grade 2s in the back sometimes so that flute can be hit for 11. But that's the reason why we run flute though, because flute does help with the offense. I mean, we do run we run 3 copies of the 10k vanilla as well though. Okay, so we didn't deal enough damage to him, so he's not able to retire. But he also chose to use Saishin. Now what I'm going to do here on the next turn, assuming he kills off the flutes, he might not even kill one of them. He only has to kill, he's going to use a Desert Gunner to kill one. Then he's going to swing Thunder Break into Vanguard, and then any trigger goes to Death Scythe. Okay, there's one PG. We gotta note that down. Okay, he's gonna push me all the way to 4. He has 2 interceptors though, so that's without reindeer. Our chances here are gonna be really slim. He's pushed a lot of damage, but he doesn't have a lot of cards left in his hand, unless he hits draw triggers. Oh, so we're gonna have to ride Serum as the Vanguard, and then now. We haven't run into any critical triggers. I could try to do this into Vanguard with the booster and bounce my Rio up. I think I'm gonna have to do that. Yeah. Because that way I could draw another card. The only bad thing here is if I check crits. Ah, I checked a crit. I had a feeling something like that would happen. Well, he won't have Limit Break. That's the only good thing. And he whiffed the heal, because we're at 4. So I kind of wanted to hit that critical. Alright, so now we'll bounce her so we can draw another card. Yeah, I know she can return the perfect guard. The only thing is, though, you don't want to... That's a very risky play, because first of all, it shows your opponent that you have a perfect guard, so they can be ready for it in terms of when they time their attacks. The other thing is that there's no guarantee, because like in that scenario, it was guaranteed, but sometimes, if they check a defensive trigger, when you try to push with Perla to the Vanguard, and you can't do that, then, you know... Alright, so he doesn't have a whole lot of stuff to fire back at us with. We have 3 interceptors ready, so he has to clear this out. Okay, this can actually help him. Death Scythe can retire my grade 1 in the back. I think he should retire the grade 1, yeah. He's checked 3 draws and 1 heal. He still can't heal though, that's good. What is he gonna do? Oh, he had 2 Death Scythes, so that's all he's got. So if I check like a critical next turn, if I check double crit, which is unlikely, but that's why we run 5. That's why we run 5 crits. Okay. So let's see what he runs, because I'm curious. He might just get like a heal and a draw here. There's the draw. Oh, he's got Dungaree. I really need to draw top deck Velvet Voice Reindeer here. There, he whiffed another heal, so that's good. But we are already out 3 heals. We only got 1 heal left. And we don't have any PG. We damage checked our second PG. Things aren't looking that good here. Without any PG and with only 1 heal left. And with no reindeer in sight. The only thing we can do is just call down 2 interceptors. I mean, that doesn't even need to be there right now. Well, I guess it does need to be there, doesn't it? No. I don't want to put my booster down yet, because he'll just retire it. In fact, we're going to go ahead and put... No, not Kareen. We'll just put this here. The only way I can win is if I double crit here, and he doesn't have a PG in his hand. Oh wow, there goes the other PG. That's PG number 3. So now we're gonna go to 6 damage heal, and we only have 1 heal left. So this one's probably gonna be a loss. We'll play another game just so hopefully I can ride reindeer in the next game. But you can see if you don't have your main Vanguard, your deck just kind of falls apart. Did I soul charge one of them? No. Oh, that's weird. Okay, so I checked 1 heal and I soul blasted. I soul charged one, I soul blasted it. Not sure what he's thinking. I mean, I'm at 5 damage. Oh, he doesn't have interceptors? That means he only has... He might have PGs in his hand? He must have drawn into at least one of them. If he's not really... What? Now we could live. If he doesn't check a trigger, we live. Come on, don't check anything. Oh, really? Okay. Oh, man. That would have been hilarious if he didn't check anything. If I were him, I would have called something down, though, behind that, in front of that Phoenix. Wow, what was that? Like, the perfect cards are all lined up like that. Alright. Alright, well, hopefully we get to use Reindeer in this next game. That was a really weird game, though, now I think about it. My opponent, he rode Thunderbreak, which means that his deck is not really completed. Or I don't know, maybe both of us were unlucky. I bet he didn't have a complete deck, though. Okay, so now we have this. So you keep this, because it's MLB. You send one of these back, because you kind of want another grade 2. Wait, Galahad? What the? What? Was this person trying to farm? Didn't they mulligan because he saw me as Bermuda? What? Is this play? Are they playing for real? They're playing Galahad for real? In June? I bet this person was intending to VP farm, but then they saw that I'm a Bermuda player, so then they're probably thinking like, oh, it's a free win. Alright, so ride this, put this here. I don't know why we don't see much of it. I think the reason people shy away from decks too many times when they Oh, this must be the Garmor. What is this? Is this the Garmor slash MLB deck? He just threw away a Blaster Blade? That tells me that he's definitely not playing MLB. You don't throw away Blaster Blades if you run an MLB. Wait, so his ride chain completely bricked right there. That means that he's probably gonna ride Garmor? This is a Garmor Galahad deck. I was not expecting to see this, but we're drawing too many of the triggers early. And he put that interceptor there, which is kind of annoying. Now the thing is, do I want to do this, keep this, or keep that? Probably the 7 can go in the front, because this can still enable me to do something. He runs criticals also. That's kind of weird. Typically with Galahad Garmor, you would run stands and draws. I mean, I guess you could run criticals because you could mix that, combine it with Galahad, and then just gain like a ton of critical. Okay, see, I expected Garmor because I was thinking he doesn't have the ride chain. The ride chain bricked so early that he's probably gonna go Garmor, especially when I saw him start calling out those Snoggles. He's throwing away his 10k grade 2 though, but it does deck thin. He has the event skin. Yeah. I don't know. Okay, but at least here he left my grade 1 alive. Oh, we got the Pearl Sister too. Okay, that's good. Alright. Now we can do some more interesting things. We can... I don't really want to bounce this up just yet, but it would be nice to make it... I can't really plus off of that. So... This is kind of weird though, because I also do need an interceptor. So, but... this is just weird. Alright, go ahead and send this up. We have to rebuild the column. Alright, and then I guess we'll just go with this, because... I don't really like the way this looks, though. Because if I... See, the thing is, if I attack first with Reindeer, and then if he checks defensive... I gotta do the sister combo. I just have to draw it. It's 1 to pass. Let's see. And the good thing was... Here, just don't invoke. I'll just save it for the restand. Okay. So this is gonna be kind of strange. So... Because now... You gotta put 1 on her to hit. Now... Send... What's in my hand? Send this up. Just to guarantee it's up so I can call it down later. And then bring down... This... Here. If I check another trigger, I'm gonna call down Sedna behind it. And put power on it, but I didn't. Okay. Because what I could have done there is, if I check the second trigger, I could have pushed him to 5 by bouncing my grade 2 and calling Sedna down, putting power on Serum and calling Sedna the 8k behind this. This is 13. This would have been 18 plus 8, so that would have hit over his defensive. That's his 3rd Blaster Blade? Because didn't he ride 1? Yes, that's his 3rd one. I kind of think this is a VP Farmer deck, and this guy just decided to play against me because I'm not MLB. Because look, he's running 9 crit. I'm pretty sure he's running 9 crit, so I'm pretty sure this is a VP Farmer who just, I don't know why, for whatever reason, decided to play. I know. Yeah, and this guy's got 2 interceptors. So we're gonna need a trigger here to win. Let's see. We're gonna call Flores. Gonna have to call this. And then... It doesn't really matter. I'll just call Sedna. Yeah, these are... Wait. All your Snuggle and Brew will get intercept. Okay, so I have to swing, swing, and then swing. Okay. Now, we'll need 1 trigger for this to actually work. Oh, wait. What am I doing with her? Oh, no, don't do that. We'll need something to work here. Okay, we got critical trigger. This is what I'm talking about why you run crits over stands. So now we're going to put the power on... what's in my hand? Doesn't really matter. Put the power on this. And then bounce Flores. And then call Flores back down. Now, if he doesn't have a PG... And he actually had one. Wow. Okay. Wow. Alright, then I want to bounce this up to my hand. Oh, now we have to 6 damage heal. And he's at 5 and we're at 4, so that's interesting. Okay, we got it. This guy's like, what? What just happened? Alright, so now we have Rio, which is what we needed actually. So Rio, this final turn. Yeah, he could 6 damage heal though. We gotta kill both. We have to kill 2 of his interceptors again, though. That's kind of annoying. Draw, and then now, okay, we got the PG. I gotta think this through because that column over there is 15, so we're gonna bounce Rio so we can do the draw. Because that's 20, so it'll hit over a defensive. And now we draw off of it. We still charge a heal, we drew another heal. It's okay, everything's totally fine. And that's it. It wouldn't have really mattered because I wanted to draw off a Rio, yeah, if he checked a heal, he would have been at 20, and my Rio column could still hit him for 20, so it didn't really matter which side I chose. The better side is actually the left side because you want to draw off a Rio skill, but that kind of demonstrates how the deck works. The Rio, you want to bounce Rio during the battle phase to draw off of it. And we ranked up off of that, so I'm pretty sure that was a VP farmer that wasn't expecting to lose like that. Okay. Yeah, I would have double healed. Yeah, that's true, actually, yeah. After 6 damage healing, I double heal. I heal back to 4. Well, the second heal would have whiffed, so that's why it didn't really matter. And that guy has a Bermuda Triangle icon too. He has a Riviere. That guy plays Riviere. We beat him with Reindeer, the rival deck. That's pretty hilarious. Alright, if I hit Legend 1, do I place in top 1000? Wow, there's people that are already Legend 21. Okay, whatever. That's basically it, guys. I guess, yeah, like I said, I plan to climb this season with Narukami, Angel Feathers, and Spike Brothers. Those 3 primarily. Now, Spike Brothers won't show up until I have the deck built. So in the meantime, I will continue to use Granblue as a placeholder until we get our Spike Brother deck. But hey, Justin, thanks for the sub. Much appreciated. Do you get a card profile of the rank reward if you get 4? No. Well, actually, no. You have to place in top 100 to get a title, I think. I mean, it's right there in the reward list. We can look at it. Reward for wait, where is it? Rank reward? Yeah, so oh no, okay. Yeah, you gotta finish in top 100. If you get in top 100, you get top 100. If you get top 10, you get top 10. If you get top 3, you get 3rd place if you're 3rd. 2nd place, 2nd, and so on. What does this say? This says eternal charisma? What? Eternal charisma. Man, there's already people that are Legend 21 on the first day of this. There's some people who really want those Riviere cards. If they're gonna work that hard on that, they better be running that deck next season, or at least when in Legion format. Because Riviere becomes really good in Legion. She becomes a restanding Vanguard. I forget what the effect is. I think it's like Counterblast 3 or Counterblast 2. Is Counterblast 2 or Counterblast 3? Discard 1. Discard 3 and restand your Legion. I forget exactly what it is, but I know that this gets a Legion that gives it the ability to restand. And that's really nice because that combined with the Persona Blast skill means she can restand with the Persona Blast. Yeah, but I think, isn't the Nightmare Doll Alice and the Trumpeter the only ones that are original art that were never seen before? Because this is not new art. This Riviere is just, this is actually an SP card of this in the real game. Just like there was for Reindeer, and also the upcoming Coral alternate art is also already like a SP in the real card game. So none of this stuff is new artwork. I think the only new artwork in the game is the Nightmare Doll Alice, although I could be wrong, but I kind of think that, where is it? I think this is a new art. I'm not 100% sure if this exists in the physical card game. If so, I've never seen it. And the same thing with this. I don't think I've ever seen this card in the physical card game. But the Reindeer, I've seen it before. In fact, I have that card, and I have that Riviera card, the alternate art. I've got both of them. So, but these cards I've never seen. So the ones that they skipped over were the ones that might have actually been new. And apparently, the Dragonic Overlord from the season reward, the ranked reward, is also not an original art. That is also a, I think it was a Japanese-only release of that artwork back in the physical card game. So maybe the Blaster Blade is the... Okay, maybe the Blaster Blade. is an original art.
デッキを作るときは
Let me find him. Where is he at? This might be new. I don't remember seeing this ever before. Stardust Trumpeter art is the V series retrain art. Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Oh, but that's why, because I haven't seen that card yet, because the MLB stuff. Is it the MLB? The MLB stuff, I don't even know when that's coming out in global. To V-Series. But I've never seen this Blaster Blade in the physical card game before. This one is the classic. This one is the one that was in the very, very first trial deck that came out way back in 2011. In the newest trial deck for Royal Paladins. This one? This is in the newest trial deck for Royal Paladins? Oh, you mean the Stardust Trumpeter. I think you're talking about the alternate art Stardust Trumpeter? Okay. But it's cool seeing all these cards, because I've never seen some of these cards. Like, I've never seen the original Palamedes before. What do you mean the other guy? Yeah, but Aichi deck, not the other guy. Who's the other guy? This was in the trial deck as a common. This was a triple R that became outdated very quickly. Although I think they got some more support for this card later on down the line. I forget exactly. Shion? What? This was not in the Shion deck. Shion never used Blaster Blade. That's always been an Aichi thing. I don't think Shion's ever used that thing. You know what? I hate MLB so much that when Jewel Knights come out, I'm considering deconstructing this SP for Jewel Knights. The Aichi trial deck, not Shion. Oh, wait. Oh, you're talking about, okay, you're talking about this. This was in this was an alternate art in an Aichi trial deck. Okay. It's funny because when I started Vanguard, I think MLB had just came out with Overlord the End and the Shadow stuff, and back then I did not know what was good, so I built Shadow Paladin because I thought Shadow Paladin was cool, and boy was I wrong. The Shadow Paladins, Season 1 Shadow Paladins were pretty terrible. They were pretty bad. It was interesting because a villain's deck was actually bad back then in a card game. Go figure. Usually the villain's deck is always one of the most OP decks in the game, in the format, when it's new, but back then, no, it was not. Phantom Blaster Overlord was a Counterblast 3 to Persona Blast. Shion never used BB. Yeah, I know, he never used it. I'm not going to deconstruct MLB unless I really, really need to. So basically not until Jewel Knights. There's no reason to deconstruct him now. We're not going to build any Royal Paladins. We're not going to get Royal Paladins for a super long time. So just let him sit around. I'll spare him for now. Is a promo card in the real game? Okay, yeah, I mean, I figured, but I've never seen it. I've never seen it, so that's why. But I know that I've seen this before. I've seen this, but I've never seen that Blaster Blade. Deconstructed based on principle. The problem is, I might have to harness the power of the dark side later this month. So we'll keep him around for now. We'll keep him around pre-nerf. How about that? Man, I was hoping I would pull more Great Nature today when I was opening packs, because I opened 50 packs for that premium gacha so I could get that second Shamshiel. I pulled really good on the no seal. I pulled like 2 more of these. And I pulled another SP Ergodial, which I could deconstruct, and I most likely will deconstruct this once I get 100 crystals. But although I could just end up like saving it for Metatron, because the thing is, like, the Shamshiel is one of those cards where you don't see it later on. It gets replaced by the Celestials. But I think the way they buffed Metatron, making Metatron an 11k Vanguard with a limit break skill, I feel like Metatron will go further than Shamshiel. I kind of see Shamshiel as Shamshiel to me is kind of like NLK in Dark and Regulars. Like, it's one of those cards where if you have 4 of it day 1, you go ahead and you run it. But if you don't have 4 and you still want to play the deck, then you kind of want like 2 or 3, and then it's okay, and then the deck is semi-playable. You can use it on to climb ranked, and it won't be too bad. But I wouldn't go crazy trying to like craft 4 of these. I'm thinking I may craft 1 more, but if it gets replaced by Metatron, then I'm probably just gonna forget about it and just keep the deck the way it is and save the materials for Metatron. But I'm not 100% sure yet, because I don't really know how to play Angel Feathers that well. I like the clan's style. I like that you can fetch PGs out of the damage zone, and you don't really worry about what you damage check. But it's definitely a clan that it takes a lot of skill to play, and to pull off all the big wombo combos. And also, you kind of like hope that you can check at least 1 trigger, whether it's a stand or something else, that turn. That's the most ideal. Overlord 1 is also from the Kai trial deck from the reboot. Okay. Really? I don't remember that, because I have the... You're not talking about V-Series, though, are you? Because I don't remember this in the V-Series trial deck, and I have the V-Series. I have all the V-Series trial decks. All the current ones, at least. This was not in there. There's 2 different Overlord arts in the V-Series trial deck, but they're not this. There's one that has like a light background, and there's one that has a dark background. This would have had to have been an alternate art during the OG Vanguard, like V-Series. No, not V-Series. Either pre-V-Series or like G or before G, something like that. Metatron's better boosts the Pegasus more. Yeah, see, that's why I'm probably just not gonna worry too much about Shamshiel. It's like I have everything but Shamshiel, and I would like to have a 4th of this no seal. Because ideally, I do believe that this is the one that you want to run 3 of, so you don't really need a playset of this. And this is the one that you would want to run at minimum 3, and then possibly 4 for consistency. So I think the grade 2 is the one that you would run 4 of. But I don't know. It might be just 3 and 3 of each. But it's nice that I have 2 of these that I can deconstruct if I need 100 orbs. Because Ergodial long term won't really see play. I don't think it gets any support in Legion format. I don't remember it getting any support in the Break Ride format. So yeah, it's a card that falls off. If you're not playing Ergodial now, you're most likely never gonna end up playing Ergodial. And I feel like Ergodial is one of those cards where it's kind of like Locks, where you you don't want... It's almost like the ride chain is not really necessary, if that makes sense. Like, in Great Nature, you can run locks, because the Persona Blast skill is so good, but you don't necessarily need the ride chain. You just run locks, but not the grade 2 and the grade 1. I mean, I guess you could run the grade 2 for the potential 11k Vanguard, but I don't know if it's really necessary in that deck. And then Ergodial, same thing. I've tried Ergodial and I didn't like it. It's okay, but it doesn't really do a whole lot. I feel like the limit break style of play is just better. Being able to have the 5th heal trigger in the form of Sunny Smile Angel. And not having to run all those vanilla ride chain pieces. Like, if I was going to run Ergodial, I mean, even without the ride chain, it's kind of hard to fit it in because I would have to not run Calamity Flame. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. It just kind of stalls. I've thought about running it with Sunny Smile Angel. Just tech it in with all the other Angel Feather stuff. But I don't know. Have him opening a trial deck and he got the alternate art. Oh, okay. Oh, I'll probably have to look into that. Was it really V-Series though? Because I don't remember it being in V-Series. Unless it was like a limited time thing. Like almost like a first edition sort of thing. I need that one more Vermilion, then I'm done with this clan for now. I'm glad that I pulled 2 Dungaree today though, because I want to play Dungaree Unlimited. Still need that 4th Asura Kaiser. I don't even remember when the Cross-Ride Asura Kaiser came out in the OG Vanguard. Like, I assume it was around... Was it even around Break Ride? It had to have been around Break Ride, because I think it's a Limit Break skill. But it doesn't come out during Season 2, so I guess... I think Asura... Yeah, I don't remember when that Asura Kaiser came out. I know it wasn't like set 14. It wasn't set 13 either. And I don't even think it was set 15. Yeah, you're right. It was an extra booster. Cross-Ride Asura Kaiser was in some kind of extra booster. Oh, wasn't it the one that had the Blau Cross-Ride? I think it was the one that had the Blau Cross-Ride. Unless the Blau Cross-Ride... Because the Blau Cross-Ride was in an extra booster. I remember Novell for Kagero and Blau, those 2 extra boosters came out together. There were 2 different extra boosters, but they released at the same time. So you had people running, like, the Grade 4 Kagero build with Novell and Cruel Dragon and Dauntless Drive Dragon. Some of them wouldn't even run Dauntless Drive Dragon when they realized that Cruel Dragon was actually better. But Break Riding Novell was pretty scary. A restanding Grade 4 with Silent Tom, or... I think it was the opposite of Silent Tom. It was the guard restrict. It was when it attacks, you can't call grade 1s. EB08. Wait, EB08. Is EB08 the one that had the Blau? Was it Blau and Asura Kaiser together? Or am I thinking something different? Or maybe Blau was like EB06? Because I know EBO2 was Banquet of Divas. EBO3 was the one with Spectral Duke Dragon. EBO4 was the one with the Battle Sisters or the Magus or something. I forget. One of them was a Misaki one. I forget which one. Okay, so it came out with Blau. Okay, that's interesting. So it'll be interesting to see when they put that stuff in the game, because that will be the only time that I will actually play Blau, because I've never tried to play Blau. I think I played him probably like once or twice on rank total, and then I never touched the deck. I just played Perfect Riser after that. Okay, so that's cool. So that's when he comes out. So we have no idea when that's going to show up, because the extra boosters are kind of random in terms of when they put the cards in. Because it's interesting, Dimension Creeper for DI is not supposed to come out until Break Ride, yet we're getting it next month. And Dungaree Unlimited is not supposed to come out until Break Ride, way into Break Ride. Just like it, Dungaree Unlimited and Dimension Creeper both come out in Binding Force of the Black Rings, BT12. The one that has Raging Form Dragon, Nebula for Link Joker, Reverse Lukie, Reverse Amon, Garmor Liberator, and Schwarzschild Dragon, and there's probably something else I'm forgetting. Set 9. Maybe they'll release some of it in set 10 along with the Beast. No, because... Oh, you mean... Oh, yeah, you're talking about Break Ride. Pale Moon stuff in set 6 also didn't come out until the later sets. Yeah, see, the thing is, Pale Moon got support in... Pale Moon is weird. In OG Vanguard, Pale Moon got cards like when Lukie came out in not Breaker Limits. Cavalry of Black Steel was an extra booster. I forget what the set was that she came out. I think it was like BT07. Lukie was and Reiji was BT07. And then both of those clans didn't get cards until set 12, which was well into season 3. That was set 12 is one of my favorite sets of all time because it has Raging Form Dragon and Lukie Reverse and Amon Reverse. Although I know all the triple Rs. Actually, I should know all 8 triple Rs. Amon Reverse, Lukie Reverse, Raging Form, Schwarzschild, Nebula Lord, Garmor Liberator. Who's the I said both Link Jokers. Who's missing? I said Dark Irregular. What was the other guy? There's 2 more. There's 2 more in set 12 that I'm forgetting. There was no Narukami. Oh no! Oh yeah. The reverse Eradicator, Vowing Sword Dragon, Eradicator, Vowing Sword Dragon. His reverse, his cross ride was in that set too. That was the card that no one wanted. That's why I had a hard time remembering it. And I think there was one more. Because there was 8. Did I count all of them? Raging Form. Wait, was there another one for Shadows? No, I think it was the only one. It was Raging Form, Lukie Reverse, Amon Reverse, Vowing Sword Reverse, Nebula, Schwarzschild, Garmor. Who's the 8th? Was it a Beast Deity? No, Beast Deity was set 13. Both Beast Deity cross rides, Ethics Buster Extreme and Reverse, were set 13. They came out with Chaos Breaker Dragon in set 13, along with Nuatama. But what was the 8th card? It was not a Link Joker, because Link Joker was Schwarzschild and Nebula Lord. Can't remember what the 8th triple R was in Binding Force of the Black Rings, set 12. Was it another clan? Was it Leopold Reverse? No, Leopold Reverse was it was not Granblue either, or was it? Was it Granblue? No, it wasn't Granblue. Granblue didn't get cards in that set. That set had Narukami, Pale Moon, Dark Irregulars. Oh, Dungaree Unlimited. Yeah, I said him way earlier when we were talking about Dungaree. Yeah, you're right. Dungaree Unlimited. Narukami had 2 triple Rs. I remember now. Well, I mean, we mentioned it previously a few minutes ago when we were talking about Dungaree, but the funny thing is, the reason why I had a hard time remembering the Narukami units was because nobody wanted to play Dungaree Unlimited, and nobody wanted to play Vowing Sword in Eradicators. They would rather play Descendant and Gauntlet Buster over the Reverse guy, the Cross Ride, and Dungaree's Cross Ride. That's funny. That's why I had a hard time remembering the 2 Narukamis. Because those were the 2 worst ones in the set. Now, Dungaree was... Yeah. But that's one of my favorite sets of all time. Like, I remember Break Ride. Break Ride and Legion were the golden age of this game, of the physical card game. So for those who missed out in that era of Vanguard, man, I'm so sorry, because you guys missed out on, like, the best time to be playing, like, OG Vanguard back in the day. And honestly, the reason why a lot of people play Vanguard Zero, I think, is because they come from that era, or they remember the game from that era. More so than G and Premium and V Series. because it's all the old cards with mostly with their old effects tweaked for this new rules basically. Ethics Buster Reverse is gonna be busted. Yeah, well, I don't know. We'll see. Ethics Buster Reverse is hilarious though with that cross break ride. 8 attacks. 'Cause 8 attacks. Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait for it either, man. Break Ride is gonna be Break Ride is gonna be the peak of Vanguard 0. In my mind, I don't think G, if they do G in Vanguard 0, they're gonna have to do a whole lot of changes. They're gonna have to overhaul a lot of the way things, like the field and stuff. They're gonna have to do it for Legion also, because they have to put 2 cards in the center on the Vanguard circle. They have to change it. The size of the circles will have to be larger and stuff. So they're gonna have to do like a slight UI change for Legion. The blood's okay. The blood gains a critical, so it's okay. I mean, you just don't run Death Scythe in the blood and in that deck, and then it's fine. Unlimited is a good deck, though. Yeah, I don't think that's the real reason. I think it's just because that deck is a good deck. I want to play Dungaree Unlimited. In fact, I prefer Dungaree more than this guy. I always have. In fact, I don't even have this card in OG Vanguard. I've never had the original Vermilion. I have the Blood in like a binder in storage somewhere, but I never pulled the original Vermilion. I've never had the Vermilion. I do have the V-Series one, which is trash, but I don't have this one, the original one. So when he got his Legion support, I never used it either, so. But it came out way later, like it came out during like G era, when this card finally got its Legion. But it's funny, because I don't have this Dungaree in my card collection. I don't have this, but I do have Dungaree Unlimited because I opened Binding Force of the Black Ring and pulled it from a pack. That's funny, though. The thing they did with V-Series Legion retrains, what did they do? I don't see them doing that, to be honest. In fact, there's no guarantee that well, okay. If you think about it, Legion isn't going to be as good as it was in OG Vanguard, because think about the difference between this game and OG Vanguard. If you're Legion, if you want a Legion, you have to send 4 cards from your drop zone back into the deck. And you can send your triggers back. But here's what's going to happen, because think about it. How often, by the time you ride grade 3, unless you got lucky and you drove check 2 triggers that are now sitting in your damage zone, you don't have the ability to Legion. In fact, you still can't even Legion, because you have to have like interceptors that died. So, I mean, it's still gonna play similar to how Legion formatted played. Like when Zero goes to Legion, I can guarantee you everybody is going to be trying to play Rush style. Everybody's going to call down all their like grade 1s and 2s and swing and swing, and they want you to kill their interceptors because they need 4 cards in the drop zone. So you need to run over their interceptors. So there's going to be a lot of weird stuff where, and the thing is, you can't really deny the opponent Legion unless you sit on grade 2, but I don't know why you would do that. And you're not really going to benefit from like not killing his interceptors, because then you can't attack his Vanguard. So, and if you don't kill his interceptors, he's just going to attack you with them next turn. So it's going to be one of those things where it's going to be a strange format where everyone calls down even their grade 1s if they have to. They're going to put them in the front row and try to swing in, and you know, everyone's going to be rushing in Legion. I can already tell, because you can't block from your hand. So if you need 4 cards in the drop zone, you're going to bank on them killing your rear guards and you checking triggers on your drive check, so they go in the damage like they normally do. Yeah, maybe it'll be like return 3, but I don't think they're gonna change it. I honestly think that it's still gonna be send 4 cards because they didn't change limit break at all. So there's no reason for them to change Legion's cost. But yeah, I do think, well, no, Quintet Walls would just work the way Sentinels work. So I don't know. They might not even implement Quintet Walls. In fact, I'm kind of thinking that they might not even introduce any more Perfect Guards. They might not. I don't know. I don't think they need to introduce new Perfect Guards, though. When you think about it, it would be better if they just give us... It depends, because, like, if they... Part of me wants to say that they should just give us newer cards, like, cards that have skills, not just print new Perfect Guards with, like, a Silverthorn name, or, you know, like a Amon's Follower name, or an Eradicator Sentinel. But they might do it. They might do it. Because, well, I don't know. They want you to roll the gacha, but it really depends on how the sub-clans are going to work, or how the archetypes are going to work. Like Silverthorns from set 12, right? Like Ionella, and all those, like, what's her name? The Fiona, or whatever the grade 1. Basically, the Silverthorns have to send Silverthorns into the soul. Check, you know, like check 3, put 1 in, send those to the rest of the bottom of the deck, that kind of stuff. So, if they implement those sort of effects where it requires Silverthorn in the name, then I can see them introducing new Perfect Guards that fit in the sub-clan. So, I mean, they could do it, but I think they want to print, like, more cards that have effects rather than just more Perfect Guards just for the sake of printing Perfect Guards. But I could be wrong. They might just give us more Perfect Guards for existing clans. That way, like, if someone's... It makes sense, because if... From a new player's point of view, it makes sense to print new Perfect Guards for the sub-clans. Because why would you... Like, let's say you wanted to build Pale Moon, and you just started the game, and let's say we're in Break Ride format already, in 0, and you want to build Silverthorns, why would you roll the gacha on the old cards for the old Hades Hypnotist when you can just roll the new one for the Silverthorn Sentinel? So yeah, most likely they'll probably give us the new Sentinels. But that we won't have to see. We won't see any of that until Season 3, because that's when they started doing that. Oh, that's really, really early to be doing that. I wouldn't worry about it right now. Revengers won't be around for a super long time. In fact, are we even going to see them this year in Global? I don't think so. Let's see, because next month, JP gets Eradicators, Jewel Knights, and Liberators. And what else? And Beast Deities again. That's weird, but yes, they get Beast Deities again. Actually, I'm not sure what they're gonna do, because they might change it. They might change the way they release stuff. Like, in fact, I'm kind of thinking, honestly, guys, I would not be surprised if JP gets Dauntless Drive Dragon next month. Like, no joke. Even though Dauntless Drive is BT 11 Sealed Dragons Unleashed, it's supposed to come out in the second Break Ride set. I could see them doing that. What I could see them doing, honestly, is they might not even release Descendant next month. They might instead throw out the Kagero Break Ride, because Kagero hasn't gotten cards in such a long time, because all of Season 2 it was sealed away. So they might just throw out Dauntless Drive first, and Descendant, and Vowing Sword, and Gauntlet Buster, all that stuff might come out the following month. If they do that, I wouldn't be surprised. Because you think about it, they just got the Blood, Dungaree Unlimited, all the Narukami top deck stuff right now in JP. So why would they... I mean, I guess if they want to stay true to the story, like if they're going to go story mode on us, or on JP at least, next month, then they probably will do... They'll probably stick to the plan. They'll probably stick to, like, Eradicators, Jewel Knights, and Liberators, and Beast Deities next month in JP. So that means Nova Grappler, Royals, Golds, and Narukami is next month in JP. And out of those 4, the only one that I like is Jewel Knights, and because it's finally the death of MLB, hopefully forever. But I don't know, because you could try running the Break Ride with MLB, and that would be really strange. But I could see people trying that out. But it might end up being too... Well, I don't know. No. See, I don't know if it'll work, but it could work. You would ride Blaster Blade, use Wingle... Well, no one would run Wingle Brave anymore, so it'd be really weird. But I could still see them trying that. But I do think they might bring Kagero up. Oh, yeah, Genesis also should be in the first set. That's right. Yeah, that's... Oh, yeah, and OTT doesn't get support for a long time, too. OTT doesn't get support until... Wow, I don't even know if... Did OTT even get support in Break Ride? If they did, I don't even remember their stuff. Oh, yeah, they did. They got the Magus. They got the Magus... Hexagonal Magus was their Break Ride, but that was in another weird extra booster. So it'll be interesting to see how they release OTT, Blau, Novell, if they even do. I don't think we're gonna get Novell in Zero. I don't think they're gonna introduce a grade 4. Yeah, OTT just kind of disappears. Cause yeah, their cards are in an extra booster during Break Ride. That's really strange. They probably will. They'll probably combine them. But I feel like it's gonna be weird because they typically try to limit the set releases to four clans at a time. They don't really do like 5 or 6 clans in a set in Zero, unless and I don't think they're gonna do like 2 sets at the same time, like they did for Global back in May. I don't see them doing that for JP. It doesn't make sense. So I don't know. They might just what might end up happening is they just drag out Break Ride, because remember, Break Ride that season was really long. Like the first half of that season actually has nothing to do with Link Joker. Link Joker doesn't show up until the second half of the season. First half of the season was pretty much like Aichi started high school. He needs to form a card club. He tries to recruit Misaki and these other people, and Korin now goes to high school, and then like there's a whole bunch of episodes on that, and then there's the whole like the tournament thing, and there's they have the tournament with like Kai's high school, and Kai, I think Morikawa and those guys are on a team, and then that team loses to Aichi's team. Then Aichi's team gets to go and take on like Ren's high school, and then they lose and Ren wins, and then Leon shows up again. You know, there's a lot of like filler and stuff in that at that point, and then eventually Link Joker gets introduced in a strange way, because like when Kai watched Aichi and Ren fight in that school regional tournament, whatever that was, I think it was a regional, he realizes that he's weaker than them, and he gets all emo about it, and then he goes off to well, actually no, he's wondering what's going on. Then like Naoki follows, I forget the girl with the glasses in the school, I forget her name, but she uses Neo Nectar. But he follows her into some like, she goes around this corner, and then she like turns him reversed somehow. I forget how. I don't even think they show how he becomes reversed. I guess he loses to her in a card fight or something. He becomes reversed. Then he goes to the card shop. He's evil, and then like Kai notices that he's weird, and then like they beat him, so he becomes normal again. But Kai was thinking this is really weird. So he starts investigating. Then he finds Takuto. He finds Takuto after Takuto became evil Takuto. That's really funny. And then yeah, he becomes reversed, and then that's basically when season 3 starts getting really, really good. So yeah, I can see them drawing it out for a very long time though in Zero. Meaning, what they could do is like for JP, they could give them Royals, Kogero. What else? What else hasn't gotten cards in a long time? Oh, they'll introduce Genesis as the new clan, and because Season 3 had 3 new clans, technically, because Nubatama didn't really count until now. So they got Genesis, Nubatama, and, of course, Link Joker. But Link Joker comes way later on. So, actually, Nubatama comes out after Link Joker, but you get what I'm saying. So, I expect JP to get Genesis, Jewel Knights for Royals, Kogero might actually get their break ride next month. I wouldn't be surprised. And, I don't know who the fourth one will be. Maybe Liberators? Maybe Eradicators? I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if... Oh, no, maybe Celestials. They might bring out Celestials. Although, didn't Metatron just come out? So, I don't know. Maybe not Celestials. But you get what I'm saying. There's so much stuff that they can draw out before they bring out Link Joker. Because Genesis is supposed to be the new clan first. So, we're going to see Genesis before we see Link Joker. So, that'll be the new hyped clan to play. That's the one that people are going to spend the PG medals, Sentinel medals on. I don't remember Takuto kidnapping anybody. I just think that, well, I don't know. I don't know how she became evil. That never made sense to me. But yeah, I think that Season 3, basically Break Ride is going to be around for a long time. The bottom line is Break Ride is going to be a long season. It's going to be a long era of Vanguard 0, where they literally give you 4 clans a month with their Break Rides. Because think about it, we got to go through like Genesis, Royals, Eradicators, and whoever the fourth one is, whether it's Beast Deities Break Ride, or Gold Paladin Liberator Break Ride, you know, Ganslot, that, whatever. And then the following month, they could do Celestials, Kogero, who else was in Sealed Dragons Unleashed? Because Blockade's Cross Ride comes out in that set, along with Dauntless Drive Dragon. And, I forget, I mean, I know Celestials was in that set. I can't remember who else was in that set, though. Set 11, Sealed Dragons Unleashed. I remember the name, but I can't remember what was in there. Besides Dauntless Drive, Hellfire, Blockade, Inferno, Zerakiel, the Break Ride girl, I forgot her name, for Angel Feathers, and what else was in there? Oh, Aquaforce was in there. Last Card Revan was in that set. Last Card Revan, and Transcore Dragon was in that set. So the Aquaforce Break Ride is supposed to come out the following month. When Dauntless Drive comes out, that's when the Aquaforce Break Ride comes out. Oh yeah, Murakumo also. But the thing is, we haven't seen Murakumo in the game at all. So I don't know. They might not show them until way, way later on. They might not even show up until like Minerva or something, because that's when they got support. That's when they got Yakivo reversed. So, but yeah, basically, it's gonna be several months of Break Ride format, because there's a ton of cards. There's so many cards in Season 3 that it's gonna be a very long time. They could draw it out for like 6 months. They could draw it out for 6 months. I can see them doing that, because it's like 4 clans per month. I mean, you're gonna have to do Bermuda Triangles Break Ride at some point as well. Yeah, and I think, you know, I can see them also pulling Shadow Paladins forward a little bit. Just because Shadow Paladins is another one that hasn't gotten cards in a while, but they didn't get any cards in Season. Transcore Break Ride onto Glory Maelstrom. Actually, gross. It depends on how they rework Transcore's Break Ride skill, though. They might change it. I mean, technically they don't have to, though, when you think about it. It basically will give you a choice to discard a card from your hand, and if you don't, then your PG just won't activate. That's all that'll happen. because his effect, right? What's his effect? It's like when you break right on him, the Vanguard gets 10,000 power, and your opponent must discard one card from their hand. If they do not discard one card, they cannot call until the end of turn. They cannot call a card from hand to G. So basically, you can't use your Sentinel in 0. That's what that means. But yeah, it's supposed to be Transcore, Angel Feather, Celestial Break Ride, Kagero Break Ride, and there's a fourth one which I can't remember for some reason. I need to look these up because it's really frustrating, like, not remembering these cards. But let me go back. Booster set. Look at the Wikia page. Seal Dragons Unleashed. So what was in here? Tachikaze, Narukami, Angel Feather, Genesis, Aquaforce, and Kagero. But the thing is, the only break rides in that set were Ramiel, the Celestial one, Ramiel, and Dauntless Drive, and oh yeah, Eradicator Sweep Command was in that set. And Transcore Dragon. So I could totally see them bringing the Bermuda Triangle break ride in that set. So Bermuda, Aquaforce, Kagero, and Angel Feathers, all 4 of them could be a set in the second month of break ride in 0. I can see them doing it that way too. Because the Bermuda one didn't really come out. The Bermuda one came out very, very early. In fact, in English, we had the Bermuda break ride before any of the other break rides. In fact, they released set 11 before they released set 10 in the English Vanguard. So it was weird because you had Dauntless Drive before you even had Descendant in Reddit. That was really odd. Right now, the only clans that haven't appeared in JP would be Genesis, Murakumo, Nubatama. Yeah, there's a lot. Link Joker, Gear Chronicle. Well, Gear Chronicle, we all know that's not going to show up anytime soon. So when they introduced Genesis and... Yeah, and we know that we know Tachikaze and... Yeah, okay. So you're not counting those. Yeah, Murakumo is another one that they kind of completely ignored. It's funny because it was never even in the story mode. Nubatama, I totally get that because I know exactly when that deck actually becomes a thing. It comes out... Technically, Nubatama... So technically, Season 3, the new clans are Genesis, the second one is Link Joker, and the third one is Nubatama. But if they do Murakumo also they might not even release Murakumo until like G era or something, and then that way Murakumo and Gear Chronicle are the 2 new clans in that era of this game. If it even goes that far. 16 normal clans. Yeah. Yeah, but who would use Murakumo? Who would it be Shin? It'd probably be Shin, right? I think Shin was the only one that used them in the anime. Yeah, Shin would be using Murakumo. Yeah, I could see them doing that. You know what though? If they're gonna do that, oh yeah, Shingo. Oh yeah, okay. If they do that though, they could make Master M be a clan event also, and then Nubatama would be a clan event also. They could have seen them doing that, but I don't know. Maybe it's weird because that has a break ride though. Although, what is Murakumo's break ride? I don't even know what Murakumo's break ride is. I completely forgot. Didn't it come out with Yekivo? Oh yeah. It was some weird thing that came out when Minerva. It was in set 14 with Minerva and Yakivo Reverse. To introduce frequent enough support for all of them. Yeah. It's weird because technically Technically, if they're gonna do another event clan, I could see them putting Nubatama as the event clan, because Nubatama's card pool is way smaller than Murakumo's, but at the same time, I feel like Nubatama, at least in OG Vanguard, Nubatama was more explosive and better than Murakumo. So I could see them doing it the other way around, where they make Murakumo a clan event, and then Nubatama is actually in a set release. But who knows? They might just make both of them clan events. They might just make both of them clan events because there's way too many cards. There's way too many existing clans that they have to provide cards for, like, over the course of like half a year. So yeah, Season 3 is going to be a long season, or a long era of Vanguard Zero. Break Ride's going to be a long time. And I honestly feel like that will be the pinnacle of this game. Like, the best time to play Vanguard Zero will be during the Break Ride months. After that, once it goes into Legion, I think the game will change a lot. I think you'll see a lot more people just rushing. There'll be incentive to just call down even your boosters and just go in and attack. But maybe not that much rushing, but you get what I'm saying. Like, people aren't going to hold on to a second interceptor and call only one down. They're going to like try to call two down, swing with one of them, swing with the Vanguard, and hope that they check like a critical or a draw or something. And then if they have power to make another column with a grade 1, they're going to try to do it. There's a lot more rushing. Legion will be really weird. And I think if they do G Series, I think by then the game might actually have lost quite a bit of its allure. I don't think that the player base will be as big by the time we get to G. I could be wrong, but part of me says that after Legion, there will be less people playing this game overall. That's just how it seems to me, because I don't know. I don't think that G was as popular as the original anime, at least in global. Now I don't know what will happen in the JP game, so that I don't know. I have no idea what will happen there. If Zero makes it G Series, I wonder if Token... No, Token Ranbu won't be a thing. I don't think they're going to do any of the... They're not going to do any of the crossover things because of all the licensing issues required for that. I don't expect to see Token Ranbu or any of that stuff in Zero. I'm pretty sure that's not going to be in this game. Sanctuary Guard. So... Sanctuary Guard came out in Season 2. It was sometime during Season 2. The Daigo set, I believe, or it was the very, very beginning of Season 3. But the Sanctuary, if you're talking about the Sanctuary, the ride chain for Royal Paladins, that was set 14, Brilliant Strike, the one that had Minerva and Grand Ezel Scissors and all the Murakumo stuff. Maybe they'll make separate G mode. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of think that they're going to make a different game. But if they... part of me says that they can't do that, right? Because there's already too much... There's too much that people have invested into the existing game. That what are they going to do? If they make G a separate game, then... Or you're thinking a separate mode. That will be kind of weird, because... That's kind of like premium and standard, and you have some people that play both. You have some people that only play standard and they don't play premium. Like me, I don't play premium at all. I only play standard. And then there's people that only play premium and they don't play standard. So if you do that, then you split your player base, and I don't think that's good for a gacha game. At least I don't think that's gonna work out. I can see how Legion will work. I have no idea how Striding will work. To me, Striding is just going to be insanely broken. I honestly don't see the stride mechanic working in this game, because with such simplified mechanics, Triple Drive is just going to be all about, like, running 9 crits or, you know, like... I mean, I guess you could run draw, but well, all the crazy stuff with like next stage and the restanding, chrono jet, and you know, guard restrict and those things, all that stuff's gonna have to be reworked because I don't think that's gonna be fair at all. I think that's gonna be completely messed up, to be honest. So, yeah, I don't know how G is gonna work in this game. There's way too many like restanding things. That don't have to hit. So you can just run 9 crit and just do triple drive, and then if you check crits and they PG, you don't care because you're gonna go into Chrono Jet and just swing in with Twin Drive, and then you have that guard restrict skill. So yeah, it's gonna be kind of weird. G Guardian. G Guardian doesn't come out until way later though. Like, G goes through like a whole entire season without G Guardians. But that is interesting that you mentioned that. That is true. That means the heal trigger could also function as another type of sentinel. So essentially, you'll have 8 sentinels in your hand, or in your deck. Your heals will be sentinels, and your sentinels will be sentinels. And the way the heal sentinel will work is you have to have the G Guardian in the stride deck, and you would just, like, you know, activate that skill. If you have basically the effect would be like, if you have a heal, and you would go to 5 or 6, you know, same conditions as sentinels. You can the heal will discard, and then it'll flip up the G Guardian, whatever. I mean, I could see it working, but it won't be out at a release of G Series though. That comes way later. Yeah, honestly, I don't know why they canceled Vanguard Online. I do think that this game definitely runs a lot smoother than Vanguard Online, but Vanguard Online was so much older and it was an alpha. So yeah, I don't know. I would have preferred to play Vanguard at like Vanguard Online's like the real game's mechanics over this game. Like, it's like, give me this game's system, the UI, the cards and everything, but give me like the real Vanguard's rules and the playstyle. Like, give me the triggers, give me the grade zeros, give me the ability to guard from my hand and control when I use my PG. But honestly, I mean, it's a mobile game. They have to. It's very limited in terms of its resource usage, so they have to make it this way. But hopefully, from the success they've had with Zero, they decide to make another Vanguard game, whether it's like Vanguard EX or if it's like Vanguard Online, because I would like to play that. I'm not gonna go and do Cardfight Online though. I mean, not Cardfight Online, Cardfight Area. Cardfight Area is just, no, that's not my thing. Yeah, exactly. It was like it was a long time before G Guardians became a thing. So, alright guys, well that's gonna be it for this stream. I think it was an overall good stream. It was mostly just talking about different decks and what to expect later on. But I think the way it's going with the break ride stuff, Season 3 is gonna last for probably twice as long as Season 2. And Season 2 is what? Asia Circuit, Cavalry of Black Steel, the set that has Aqua Force, and then the final set that has Glory Maelstrom. So Season 2 was 4 sets, 4 months long. I think Season 3 is going to be twice. I think it's going to be 8 months long. Just because there's so many more clans. They have to release like them in waves of like 4 clans per set. So yeah, I can totally see it taking at least 6 months, if not longer. So we're going to be in Break Ride. Well, at least JP is going to be in Break Ride for a while. If they don't give us 2 sets, though, to catch us up, or at least get it to where we're like 1 set behind them, then I don't ever see us catching up, to be honest, at this rate, if they don't do that. How close am I to that Narukami? That, Alright, well, hold up. Sham Shield. I already exhausted those, so we're gonna do this. But that's gonna be it for this stream. We will be back next time. I'll try to get more ranked matches in next time using either Angel Feather or Granblue. But I think I was able to demonstrate how to use both of them. I think there was a pretty close game with in a Granblue mirror match. It was pretty good. So we got some good games. And we 6 damage shield using Reindeer. I also demonstrated Reindeer. And we 6 damage shield on that Galahad VP farmer who thought he could get a free win, but it didn't work out for him. But I guess that's karma. So anyway, guys, that's gonna be it for me. And I will be back next time. Yeah, don't think too much about it. Just build, play what is available now, and just enjoy the cards that you have now as they are, because the cards that are new now are most relevant now. Some of them will be more relevant later on, like Ezel, for instance, and Vermilion, but if you pull whatever you pull, just play what you have now, and don't worry too much about later on, because the stuff later on is just gonna change a lot of the, like, what you see on ranked. Everything's gonna be different. Is that the company helping developing? I often wondered about that. I kind of think that they had that they stopped getting funding because they thought that it wasn't good. Yeah, just play what you have now. Just enjoy the game as it is now, because it's gonna change. Break Ride's gonna be different. Legion will be even more different. Alright guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get on out of here, and I will see you guys in the next stream. Thanks for watching.